tomahawk chop going right in our ear here. It's some of the best theater in college football. One of the great rivalries in sports. Lee, we're closing in on a kickoff. Final thoughts.
Well, because of the configuration of this stadium, if you're the Florida State coach, you want to be trying to go that way in the fourth quarter and try not to go that way with all those crazy people down there from Miami in the closed stadium. I don't know if you can hear down there.
I've played here a number of times. You cannot hear that into the end zone, and therefore, during close situations, you lose the chance to audibilize to get out of a bad play. Let's rumble, baby.
If it comes down to a kicker, keep in mind, both Dane Pruitt and Scott Bentley are having very solid seasons, but the Florida State punting game has been a little bit shaky. Back here at halftime, we'll send you upstairs now for the call, and Ron Franklin. Ron?
Thank you, Chris. The Orange Bowl, an open field where college football's greatest have sparred. Tonight, it's a battlefield.
So much respect for those guys, and they in turn have so much respect for us. So the only way to go out there and talk is to go out there and play.
This game right here means our season, for one, and our pride and character.
We had to go through all the trash talking and stuff back in the days when they used to beat us. Now Florida State's the king of the hill.
Our backs are to the wall right now, and then playing at home, I mean, we're just ready.
Definitely our biggest test for us. You know, we're going into a hostile environment down there at the Orange Bowl.
This is the biggest game in any sport I've ever played. I want it more than anything in the world right now.
All the prep, all the talk, now ends. Tea time. They want respect. They can get it here tonight. The Hurricanes of Miami. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin, welcome once again to CFA Primetime here on ESPN. Florida State now beginning to take the field, but the Hurricanes came storming out first. Folks, this is not just another Saturday night in Miami, Florida. This is the Canes and the Noles, and when this happens, this state comes to a standstill and a goodly part of the nation, simply because this one is fun to watch. What's at stake tonight? For Miami, they can't lose. If they do, there's nothing as far as the national picture for them. You heard Frank Costas just a moment ago, the biggest game of his life. What about Florida State? Well, they would love to defend and win again that national championship. But Bobby Bowden told me on Wednesday, I don't know how good we are. This is always our measuring stick. But after 60 minutes of football on Saturday night, he said one of us does not belong in the upper echelon. We'll find out. Mike Godfrey joins me as usual on the telecast. And Mike, what do you look for? Wide open Hully-Gully, close to the vest. What's it going to be?
Ron, a lot of speed and skill on the field, but to me the key is who can solve the other's defense. Miami's only given up 118 yards rushing a game to its opponent. Florida State's only given up 77 yards rushing a game to its opponent. Which team can run the football is the first key. Second key is you have to take the pressure off the quarterback. Frank Costa cannot win this football game by himself, nor can Danny Cannell. He needs the running game. And third and most important, special teams. Tonight I expect a kick to be blocked, a shank kick, a long run back. Something in the kicking game will set the tempo for this game.
80,000 strong, and as you can hear, they are whooping it up. Mike Adamle is down on the field, and if he can hear us, let's go to him. Mike?
I can hear you, Ron, but just barely. And as you mentioned, Frank Costa is a man on a mission. Last year, he was benched following the 28-10 loss to the Seminoles. Part of his undoing, this fourth quarter interception that Devin Bush returned for a touchdown. For Costa, carrying on the legacy of quarterback U has been more curse than blessing. After the shocking streak-breaking loss to Washington, his play was again the subject of great debate and, yes, criticism. Bobby Bowden has said that quarterbacks are measured by how they play in this game. Frank knows that better than anybody. He has been waiting 364 days for this moment. His chance for redemption just minutes away. Gentlemen.
And now the battle is about to begin. o'clock. These kids in the student sections have been standing and cheering like this for that long. This man right here, he'd like to quelch some of those cheers. If you see his numbers, 82% against all others, but 33% against the Miami Hurricanes. And what about Dennis Erickson? He's won 3 of the last 4 meetings against Florida State. He would like for this house to continue to be as noisy and as raucous as it has been for the past 2.5 hours since the students arrived here tonight. Jamie German, the sophomore out of Fort Myers, looking down at Scott Bentley, the sophomore from Aurora, Colorado, who will kick it off. And the 1994 meeting between the Canes and the Noles is underway. Short. It's going to come down to Germany at the 4. They'll take it out to the 32-yard line. Now the starting lineups brought to you by Russell Athletic. For the Miami Hurricanes, Frank Costa, quarterback. He says it's the biggest game of his life, and quite frankly, he'll have to play like that tonight for them to win. The wide receivers, this is an excellent group. Chris T is one of the Jones boys, and he's the go-to receiver. The offensive line, a huge group up front, but the smallest is the best of them all, and that's the center, Casey Jones, and he's only a sophomore.
Is Frank Costa.
Stewart, the lone setback, but it's a play action, and they throw it complete out to German. And he's going to take it close to the first down. In fact, he'll have it. And let's take a look at the starters on defense for Florida State. The defense lost 2 starters last week. Cannell Spain replaces Enzo Armella at that tackle spot, and he's only a sophomore. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. Great group at linebackers. Number 44, Darrell Bush, gets very little attention, but the sophomore is the second leading tackler on this Florida State team. And in the defensive secondary, Sean Hamlet replaces Steve Gilmer, who's lost for the season. It is his first start. He, too, is only a sophomore. Florida State coming with the blitz, and they catch him in it, and it goes for another 10 yards. Ball is loose, and who is recovered? At the 48-yard line, Corey Fuller took his feet out from under it. Florida State football. So, Mike, we haven't played 1 minute of football. And the thing that you have talked about over the last couple of days is mistakes, and they can't be made.
You can't make mistakes, but the running game, James Stewart was open for a good gain to the left side. He gets hit, spun around, and drops the football. Corey Fuller, number 4, coming back from a knee injury, with Darrell Bush causing the fumble.
James Stewart, very disappointed, obviously. The junior out of Vero Beach coming to the sideline after coughing up the football. But on the other side of the field, Corey Fuller is extremely excited about what has happened as the defensive unit sits and gets a welcome break.
They're going to let him snap the ball with Miami not even on the field.
And they do. And they go with the reverse. Kez McCorvey, and it won't go for much. So let's check the starters. This is the way they'll go on offense for Florida State tonight. The running backs, Warwick Dunn. He's a big game, big play kind of guy. They'll need him to do that tonight. The wide receiver, Kez McCorvey. You saw him just now. He got to start against North Carolina. His ankle is now just about 100%, as is his separated shoulder. And Patrick McNeil returns at tight guard after that 4-game suspension, and they need his experience. He's a senior.
Ron, the most important thing for both coaches right now is to settle their football team down. Miami got out a little bit late for the snap of the ball on that play. They were huddled with the coach on the sideline, but both teams ready to go. You want to spend it as early as you possibly can.
I guess not overly surprising that Bobby Bowden would open with a reverse. Nothing. Absolutely nothing as that entire front led by Warren Sapp, number 76. He is one of the finalists for the Vince Lombardi Award. He occupies a defensive tackle spot. The linebackers, Twan Russell, not a household name, but he's only a sophomore. Watch him also on special teams tonight. And the defensive secondary, typical tough group. They're led by Carlos Jones. He will always play to the open side of the field. He's their best cover man. Cannell, first throw. Lobs it, got him wide open at the 34-yard line. E.G. Green.
Ron, I like Danny Cannell as a quarterback. He's very accurate. Good play fake here. You're going to see from behind Danny Cannell. Look at him hide the football. Good fake to Warwick Dunn. E.G. Green coming across the middle right behind the linebackers where they took the fake to the run.
18 yards on that pass play. Dunn now joined by Tiger McMillan. He fakes the run, and he's looking at Kes McCorvey inside the 20. Somebody had blown a coverage as Ray Lewis was close, but he was not close enough.
What made this play again, Ron, was Danny Cannell's ball handling. Kes McCorvey over the middle again, but what Danny Cannell is able to do on 2 plays is to fake the football and hold the linebackers. Look at the fake here to Warwick Dunn. Everybody bites on the fake inside. Now he's outside, buying time for the completion to Kes McCorvey.
Again, play action. Ball is tipped and incomplete. Kenny Holmes is the man who tipped it.
Ron, Mark Richt, the offensive coordinator, told me that last year Charlie Ward got hurt against Maryland, and it was Danny Cannell's time to be the starter. He and John Stark alternated each game as being the second-team quarterback. He said if it would have been John Stark's turn there at Maryland, he might be starting tonight, but because Danny Cannell got to play a little bit more, he got the starting nod over John Stark.
Stark is a great-looking prospect, you're right.
And they have a third quarterback, Thad Busby, who's a very outstanding passer.
Pressure, just has to throw it away. Kenny Holmes again. And Holmes is going over. He not only forced the throw, but he wants a flag for grounding the football.
Kenny Holmes needs to worry about what's going on in his football game and not officiating. He did a nice job of not riding the fake of Danny Cannell in the last play.
Kenny Holmes, 6'4", 240, a sophomore out of Vero Beach, said to be the best of the pass rushers for the Hurricanes. And the reason for that, he has 4.6 speed. Play action again. Zings it. It is intercepted in the end zone. Malcolm Pearson. So there's a timeout on the field. 12 minutes and 57 seconds left in this opening quarter. And we're going to keep it right here as Cannell with the interception.
Ronnie threw into double coverage. Nothing was there. Malcolm Pearson had him doubled for the interception.
So we've had a turnover each. The fumble by Miami on the second play. Pass over the middle, has him wide open inside. Tucker, who they were extremely glad to get back. He has had a knee problem. He had surgery last year, and they said yesterday that they were going to play him a lot.
Here's the interception on Danny Cannell, the first turnover for Florida State. See the double team right there. Carlos Jones, number 12. Malcolm Pearson, number 38. Had him doubled the whole way. Threw into coverage.
20 yards on the pass play to Cy Tucker, junior out of Oklahoma City. Number 39, Stewart, full head of steam. He gets hit hard as he crosses the 46 by Sean Hammond. Well, in 1993, 21 of 43, 191 yards. He threw a touchdown pass, but Mike, the number out on the right side, that's the thing that he said almost changed his life, because he didn't get another start until Georgia Southern this year. And it was a thing where college took over, and this young man at times really just kind of felt alienated.
Said he's the most criticized athlete in Miami.
Fidel Spain came across, made contact.
Ron, going back to Frank Costa, he said he can't listen to the radio. He says he listens to Odie Station. He said, I've grown to have a thick skin.
Dead ball. Offside.
So that's a first down.
But in a pro city, Ron, your media and your people, they're going to compare the quarterback in Miami to Dan Marino. They're going to compare Dennis Erickson to Don Shula. It's because pro people are used to pro athletes and people who don't make a lot of mistakes and win a lot of games.
Quick look-in pass, complete. Jonathan Harris. And the senior out of Houston, Texas, makes the grab and goes down. Mike, because of people like Harris, it makes it extremely difficult to cover their alignment.
Well, what happened on that play, Ron, was they didn't cover Harris, Jonathan Harris, number 3. You see, there's nobody on him. He's on the inside receiver. The backer's over here. It's an uncovered receiver rule. When you have somebody uncovered, just raise up and throw him the football. Take the 5-6 yards.
They list him as a tailback, but majority of the times he is in the slot or wing. Running play to Danielle Ferguson. Breaks it open. Down to the 20-yard line. Clifton Abraham makes the stop for Florida State.
I believe the winner in this football game will come from the team that can develop the run in this game, because both defenses have been very stingy against the run. Danielle Ferguson, number 1, just fits through there. Brooks, Derek Brooks, number 10, was there, but the cutback enabled Danielle Ferguson to pick up good yardage.
20 yards on the play.
Rushing yardage allowed, 77 yards. Now, folks, you can't run against them, you can't beat them, and that's what Miami has to do. Same thing on the other side. Miami's defense gives up 118 yards rushing.
Mike, undoubtedly, they said he was down. He took it to the 20. The ball has been marked at the 30-yard line. We'll try to get an explanation from the sideline during the play. Fastest pass, Christy Jones. Caught the ball just shy of the 20-yard line, and that's where they'll give him his forward progress. Clifton Abraham with the cover.
Ron, there was a receiver that was held on this play that could have been open for a big play. Let's try to pick up the hold. I think it's on the middle inside receiver. You see him grab his jersey right there? Number 26. Harold Battles really held the jersey, which allowed them to just slow down the receiver. No score at Miami.
Just under 10 minutes left to play, opening quarter. Well, Derek Brooks obviously did not time the blitz well enough. You have to smile because he's embarrassed to death. He did it in front of 80,000 here and millions on national television.
What he's trying to do, Ron, is time it up just perfect, so when that ball snapped, but timing a little bit off.
Everything is timing.
They're trying to make Derek Brooks, trying to put him in a position tonight to make plays. He's a playmaker. He has to make big plays.
Again, James Stewart is the lone setback. But that's a lateral. Back to Jonathan Harris. Gets by the first man, and he'll take it down to the 11-yard line. Corey Fuller makes the defensive stop.
Florida State trying to confuse the blocking scheme of Miami. Miami, when you have success against Florida State, Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, likes to move his defense around. Now, you see him in a 4-3 defense. Now, as Frank Costa starts to make the call, there's the movement into a different look to try to confuse the blocking scheme of the Miami offensive line.
So the ball at the 11-yard line. Miami had it first. They fumbled on the second play. Florida State drove inside the 15 and threw an interception. And now the Canes driving. Stewart inside the 5 at his first and goal. Miami Hurricane. Wilson on the stop.
What this drive has for Miami is good mix. Frank Costa has thrown short passes. James Stewart, a big, powerful running back at 6'3", 245, picking his holes. And the offensive line of Miami has gained control of the defensive line of Florida State here in the early going.
Miami took the play to the 20-yard line. There was an illegal push in the back. That's the reason for the 10-yard loss. And they started it at the 30 following the play. And right now, first and goal. The ball just inside the 4. Stewart cracked at the line of scrimmage. There's just not much there as Derek Alexander is the first man to wrap him up.
When you have a one-back offense, there's not a lead blocker for you. And they don't have an H-back going in motion. So your back, really, there's no lead blocker to take on a linebacker. And that becomes tough for one-back offenses down here. You like to bring a second guy in the backfield, Ron, to give you a little lead blocker.
Good point, Michael, as we're about to hit the halfway mark. In fact, we have of this opening quarter.
And you have a lead blocker in there.
The pitch goes to Stewart, and he will walk it in. Dane Pruitt will attempt the extra point for the Canes. Mike Chrissy, the punter for Miami, is the holder, number 13. Dane Pruitt, a junior out of Birmingham, 5'11", 211. At home. So let's take a break. 7-11 left in this opening quarter. The Canes 7, the Seminoles nothing. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA is brought to you by American Honda, who's been making quality automobiles in America for the past 11 years. And by Russell Athletic, for really tough athletic wear that can survive anything. Get Russell Athletic. Get tough. Well, tonight's appearance by the Blockbuster Video Blimp is part of its 1994 nationwide tour on behalf of the Children's Miracle Network. The Blimp is promoting Give a Kid a Lift program, sponsored by Blockbuster Video and benefits hospitals for children throughout the United States. Ellison to the near side. As Florida State prepares with the Capers also back deep. Dane Pruitt to kick it off for the Miami Hurricane. Tiger McMillan from the 3.
Ron, Miami getting on the touchdown, brought in Derek Harris, number 34, going to move him up to the wing. Now, he's the lead blocker on this play. Shifted him up. Now, let's stop it a second. Now, here's Corey Fuller, number 4. He's going to seal him inside, and we're going to get the touchdown run by James Stewart. Corey Fuller cannot let them get outside like that, but that's bringing in a lead blocker. Block for James Stewart, touchdown.
Gunnell, the ball is tipped. That thing's alive, and it falls harmlessly at the 2-yard line. The numbers on Costa that drive, 5 of 5, 51 yards. He played that opening sequence like it was the most important thing in his life.
Well, he has a score to settle in his mind. But, you know, sometimes they always say he can't win the big game. And I guess they say the big games are the one you lose all the time, because he did beat Colorado out of Colorado last year. That's a big game.
Short gain. Ray Lewis is there to step up and make the hit after a gain of a couple. Lewis, a sophomore out of Lakeland, Florida.
Warwick Dunn, a little running back with a lot of moves. They've got to find a way to get him loose.
And Mike, when you look at what he has done in big games for them, normally he finds a way to get loose. Third down. They need the 26. There's the screen pass. Gets a good block on the far sideline by Zach Crockett, and they will pick up the first down. Burgess finally made the stop.
Ron, Warren Sapp almost made a great football play. He was rushing in as far as a defensive lineman and reversed his field and almost makes the play. Watch Warren Sapp. Here's what you got to like about him now. Talk about gearing it up now. There's a block right there. He came from behind Patrick McNeil, number 69, with a block on Warren Sapp.
Joe McNeil back from his 4-game suspension. Paying a dividend already. That pass is going to be thrown complete to Cooper.
The strategy of Florida State, with their no huddle, with the shotgun, with their passing attack,
right, now
Danny Cannell coming back on the field, is to fatigue the defensive line.
Exactly. So Stark is standing back in the shotgun formation now, as the number ones will get a breather. This unit will be there, we assume, for one play, and he's going to put it up on top. Going for Riley, incomplete inside the 20-yard line.
Ron, they have a lot of faith in John Stark. Mark Rick says we've got to play him more. He really looks good in practice, and I like what they're doing. They bring in John Stark and throw a bomb right off the bat. They're leaving him in the game. They're giving him some play. 19 out of 24, 258, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. I like the strategy by Florida State and Bobby Bowden.
So Danny Cannell in the group with the Kentucky Derby that time. Well, Stark stays in the game. Pass is zipped. Has McCorvey. Ball is loose. Incomplete at the 43-yard line.
Ball right on the money. C.J. Richardson, Chad Wilson. Little play action fake. Des McCorvey on the curl. Ball right in there, but good hits. C.J. Richardson, number 19, really the defensive back, that knocked it away.
Sean Liss will come into punt. He had a hip flexor, and because they're trying to baby that a little bit, it turned into a groin pull. Jamie German back in a single safety, and he looks as though he has no injury on this one. German all the way back, retreats inside the 10-yard line. And he will not make it to the 15. And now here comes a late flag. 52 yards on the punt.
57 yards.
We have a block in the back on the receiving team after change of possession. 10-yard penalty or half the distance.
So the Miami Hurricanes will take it over deep in their own territory. As you look at one of the Lombardi finalists, number 76, Warren Sapp, the junior out of Plymouth. So there's a timeout on the field. 5:05 left in the opening quarter. The Canes 7, the Seminoles nothing. 7-0. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this opening quarter.
Florida State gives up 77 yards. Already tonight, 53 yards. 118 Miami, 3 yards tonight.
Movement again, and I don't know what Costa's doing with his cadence, but obviously he is confusing the Florida State defense.
Well, he's confusing them, plus they're really anxious to move. They need to sit in there and relax a little bit more.
Dead ball foul on the defense, off back. 5-yard penalty. First down. Against the Seminoles.
3 times now Florida State has jumped off sides in this opening quarter, and Mickey Andrews, defensive coordinator, obviously a little concerned about that.
He has number 10, Derek Brooks, on the sideline, spelling him a little bit here. Hot night.
Jones with a big breaker, gets off the tackle, outside the 30, and is finally pushed out of bounds. And let's check with Mike Tirico.
Ron, Southern Cal is down 13-2 without Rob Johnson. He's out with an ankle injury. Brad Otten leading them back. Screen pass. Rodney Sermons, 31 yards in the locker room in Corvallis. Trojans by 7.
Wishbone of Oregon State giving them a little problem out there.
Our situation here, running and a mixture of running and passing, but particularly good running by the Hurricanes. They've got them off and with a 7-0 lead, and they own the football again with just under 5 to play in this opening quarter. Pressure, and he's going to be sacked.
Brought Henry Crockett, number 45, up inside on a blitz. The middle linebacker, sack on Frank Costa, and that was really a quick pass, Ron. I mean, that was going to be thrown on time, and just no time, no blocking, but at all for Frank Costa on that play.
Back to the 16-yard line, so it's going to be a second down. Close to 16 yards for the first. Have gotten Florida State offside again, it would appear, unless somebody on that offensive front moved this time. Mike? See, Boulware is signaling that it's against Miami this time.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
Okay. Maybe Mike Adamle can get a closer look for us down on the field, or tell us maybe what they're doing with the cadence, because everybody seems to be a little bit confused over it right now.
Well, I think a little offensive move there. Ron, in the ball game now for Florida State is Renard Wilson, number 55, and Dulac Gourier, number 99. They are the best pass rushers for Florida State. Number 55, Renard Wilson, really attacks the quarterback.
Draw play this time. Ferguson. And Ferguson, who only weighs 195, he's 6 feet tall. And the sophomore from right here in Miami takes it back to the 25-yard line.
Ron, Derek Brooks misses another tackle. We're going to see number 10. There's a linebacker right here. He's going to miss another tackle with a chance on the draw. See the wide rush? They can't afford to be players in the draw. Derek Brooks has to make that play. He cannot overrun that football.
Well, Ferguson has put him into a believable situation as far as picking up the first down. A moment ago, they had 2nd and 20. Now the line to make is just across the 31. Pass over the middle, and he hit him on the foot. Jonathan Harris turns around and protests to the officials. So it is a punting situation. And Mike, something that we need to keep an eye on is Denny Portney was the long snapper. Now it's Tremaine Mack. He handles it. He's only 6 feet 200, and he's a freshman.
Ron, I always used to look at the long snappers. When they're only 200 pounds, they can't swell up. You ask them to swell up and take a lot of room. But when you have a 200-pound long snapper, you're going to challenge him inside with 3-4 people trying to get to the punter.
See if Florida State does try to come after him. Yep, they do. Right up the middle. He's not going to get it away. And Florida State will take it over inside the 15-yard line. Eric Smith.
Ron, you always look for the small, long snappers because there are a lot of good ones, believe me. But they have to snap the football, and those 2 slot people have to be real big. But Florida State will challenge us. Now, we're behind the punter, and the snap was really not bad. A little high, but you see how they were able to come up. Corey Fuller up inside. No one blocked the Florida State front. So a kicking game mistake. And I felt going into this game there would be a block kick.
So, Mike, we've had 3 mistakes now. 2 by Miami, 1 by Florida State. Florida State was intercepted. Miami fumbled on the opening drive. And now it's a good thing he didn't try to kick it. That could have been knocked in the end zone.
He made a wise move because he believes in his defense, too. He had no chance to get rid of that football.
Cannell back in at quarterback. Gets it away, and Kez McCorvey close to the first down inside the 5-yard line. C.J. Richardson is there to make the stop.
Kez McCorvey, Gil Brandt was telling me today when I was talking to him formerly of the Cowboys, he's going to run a corner route. He said, this is Drew Pearson all over again from Dallas. He said, the guy had a great career for us, the Cowboys. This is him, Kez McCorvey, the next Drew Pearson.
First and goal for the Seminoles. At the 1, Zach Crockett.
Flag, Ron.
Flag has been thrown in the secondary, in the end zone. James Burgess is down at the bottom of that pile.
And another flag. A late flag here. Unless somebody said something to the official here.
Mike, this is the 7th penalty. Illegal participation.
Too many men on the field.
Too many men on the field.
We talk about big plays leading to scores.
Danny Cannell would certainly like to punch this one in after that early error when he threw the ball into double coverage.
Either a quarterback sneak down here, Ron, or Zach Crockett is the guy that they usually like in this situation. Fullback. He scored 5 touchdowns, I believe, mostly inside here.
Look at the participation on the defense.
Dale Phillips, the referee, explaining illegal participation. The penalty moves it about 1 yard away.
Penalty is accepted.
Crockett, touchdown, Florida State.
Another flag. Ron, the reason Zach Crockett is so effective around the goal line is on the snap of the ball, he is so quick coming out of that stance. He just takes on the tackler and just bowls over him for the touchdown.
Florida State getting their special teams in order on the field. Scott Bentley trying to tie this one up. And he missed it. Wide right. Unbelievable. So let's take a break. 7-6. Miami. We'll be right back. And unbelievably, this man has just missed an extra point. Take a look at what caused all this, Mike.
Okay, Ron, when you have the, let's start it right here. What has to happen? Okay, stop it right here. When you get the snap and you got a small snapper, first of all, he can't leave right away. These two players, 96-53, have to really swell up to take on the block. But watch the center, Tremaine Mack, snap the ball. He takes off. 96 really doesn't swell up inside, and the pressure from Florida State does not allow the kick to get off.
But the key to this ball game could be this play right here. Cannell with the hold, and Bentley just slaps his headgear. He can't believe it. It's like when we walked in the Miami Athletic Department yesterday, there was a big sign on the wall that said wide left is okay too.
I think the goalposts in this series moved.
Boy, if people don't believe that the middle part of this game when you play specific teams can be big, I'm sorry, I really think it can. That's Jamie German, number 7. He's back with Shipman. And Alfred Shipman will catch it 5 yards deep and hold it right there. Well, coming up next Saturday, this is what you can see. 6:30 Eastern time of the Southeastern Conference. It's Alabama, the number 10 ranked team in the nation, taking on Tennessee. And then at 9:30, we'll head out west. A big one in the Big 8 Conference. Oklahoma, they were upset today by Texas against number 5 Colorado. So next Saturday night, Southeastern Conference, Alabama, Tennessee, and then to the Big 8, Oklahoma and Colorado, right here on ESPN. Stewart on the draw. Boy, there's nothing there. You could see that offensive front just got shoved back, Mike, and it was Roberson and Roy there to make the tackle.
They were showing pass, and when you show pass, you get very high, and the defensive linemen are just on a move, inside move, just stuff to play for it even got started. It's a game of momentum. You have to settle down. Each team's made some mistakes, taking advantage of the mistakes.
Miami's made 2 miscues. One of them cost him. Florida State has made a couple. One cost him. And that ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. And it's Roy again. And let's go to Mike Adamle. Mike.
Well, Ron and Mike, you were talking about Miami's snap count and what Frank Costa was doing that was any different. I was literally 10 yards away and couldn't tell, but we were charting his body movements. He wasn't jerking his shoulders. He wasn't snapping his head up and down. So it's got to be voice inflection, and it is clearly part of Miami's game plan tonight. Make them jump off sides. Snap count. Heck of a guy to have in your backfield. He averages 5 yards every single play.
Third down, and the line to make is their own 30. Costa pressure from behind, and he just throws that one away. A little hard at Trent Jones, and now a flag is down at the 16-yard line. And Tyrant Marion is the man who was coming after him strongly.
And that sets up the punting situation, but the wide defensive ends of Florida State forced Frank Costa out of the pocket, and now another punting situation. And Ron, just because you get one, you go after the second one and the third one and the fourth one.
Okay, that was not a flag. It was in fact a beanbag, a marker where his knee touched.
Watch again this area right in the middle.
And this time Chrissy gets it away. Lazy spiral, and a fair catch is called for at the 49-yard line. 34 yards on the kick, and James Colsey calls for the fair catch. So Florida State trailing 7-6, again with good field position.
Good defensive series, the wide rush of the defensive ends, and we'll look at that the next time that they get the football. But when they get them in a third down situation, Ron, that wide rush really can bother Frank Costa. And if they get a push up inside, it really makes a difference.
He'll check it. Rock Preston. And he takes it down close to the 35. And as you can see by Rock's reaction, he thought he should have taken it even further.
Here's the pass rush we're talking about, Ron. You see the distance away, and that's a 300-pound tackle. Now, he's beating him. This is another 300-pound tackle. He's beating him. And if you get pressure up inside, Frank Costa has to step up inside now to make the throw. You see how they're forcing him up inside, keeping him out of his rhythm.
Zach Crockett, and the fullback will take it close to the 35 on the first down carry. Mike, I guess the other side of that is so very important is the fact you're doing it with 4 people. You're not having to dedicate a linebacker, which leaves you 7 covered.
Good point, Ron, because when you do get 4 people and putting pressure on, then the rest of the people can cover. But go back to the first couple series. Miami had some success against that wide rush with the running game. They have to go back and run the football again with James Stewart.
Well, this would not be good news if Carlos Jones had to leave for any length of time, because the sophomore out of Marrero, Louisiana, said to be the best cover guy of the cornerbacks for the Hurricanes. Cannell in the flat to Crockett. That is excellent coverage by Miami, and they'll stop him short of the first down at the 29 as Marvin Davis got out there to make the hit.
Ron, they had a perfect play on because Miami has a blitz on. They really blitzed into the screen. You see number 58 with the blitz, Corwin Francis. Zach Crockett blocks him just like he's supposed to. Now heads upfield with the screen. A couple nifty moves and picks up good yardage. The officials are missing the end of the quarter here.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing there was some confusion, because Miami had 12 men on the field again, but they got him off in time, and that is the end of the first quarter. With our score, Miami 7 and the Seminoles of Florida State 6. The key play in the first quarter, Mike Gottfried.
Ron, a lot of punt teams do not ask the center to block. So Tremaine snaps the ball, Tremaine Mack, but Larry Jones, number 23, got his attention to the right a little bit. Maybe should have stepped up inside also, and that would have been blocked, and they would have been able to get the kick off. So it doesn't all fall on Tremaine Mack, because a lot of times I never had centers blocking. Snap the football and go get it.
Also, we should report Carlos Jones, who twisted an ankle. They say he's okay. He's back in the ballgame. And he is out wide, working against Ellison, I believe, on this play. Rock Preston gets by a tackler. It is going to be neck-tied by Ray Lewis, out of bounds.
You like to have quarterbacks that are mechanically really fine-tuned, and Danny Cannell just runs the screen perfect. And again, the whole strategy of this Florida State offense is to wear down Warren Sapp, Pat Riley, Kenny Holmes, Kennard Lang with what they're doing.
Shotgun, and they take the snap quickly. Cannell rolls that pocket and throws it low, incomplete. Mike Adamle, let's check with you again.
All right, Mike, I think the thing that's so impressive, whether you talk to him or see him play about Danny Cannell, is his poise. Remember, he did not start playing until he was a junior in high school, but oh, what tutoring. Former Purdue All-American Mike Phipps, his coach at Westminster Academy in Fort Lauderdale. Dan Marino worked with him on the art of avoiding a sack, stressing quickness, and then how many hours of studying and watching Charlie Ward. Every quarterback should be so lucky, but he's got a lot of poise tonight.
You might say that he studied under 3 guys that had their doctorates at doing what they did very well. Shotgun on second, they throw the screen. Crockett down the sideline, and he's bumped out of bounds inside the 5. It is first and goal, Seminoles.
when you run a screen pass, you want to make Warren Sapp think you're blocking him. Here they give him a little brush block, but they're not really blocking Warren Sapp. They're letting him come in. Zach Crockett gets the screen, a couple missed tackles. You see number 76 chasing him, but he's out of the play, and they're wearing down Warren Sapp with this screen pass.
17 yards in the play. At the 1, does he get in? Nope, they say the knee went down just short of the goal line, and there was a flag on the near sideline.
They love Zach Crockett close to the goal line. Quick hitting fullback. We're having a major conference here. Caught him with 12 on the field again, Ron.
Wow. Dennis has got to be saying, what is going on?
I think they gave him a touchdown, too. I never saw a signal for the touchdown. But they have a touchdown. They got to go for 2.
So it is a touch. And Florida State will go for 2. In the end zone, got it complete. Messam.
Ron, they've got Miami really reeling right now because defensively they're getting caught with 12 men on the field. They're caught out of position. They're in trouble on defense. Need to regroup.
So let's take a timeout. 14:30 left until the halftime. Seminoles 14 and the Hurricanes 7. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. And by Sega Sports, makers of college football's national championship. Settle it on the field. Mike, let's go back to what happened as you look at Sapp on the sideline, and his ball club is now down 14-7. I assume that they scored on the play. There was never a signal given.
Well, first of all, Ron, here's one problem. That's the 13th player right there. There's 12 out here that are still on the field. So the 13th player gets off, but the 12, they still have 12 on the field, and they're still going to go with Zach Crockett up inside. Now let's see if he gets in the end zone, because there really was never a hand signal up. Looks close that he's in there. But because of the penalty, I don't believe there was a signal given for the touchdown.
Well, now they obviously, he did score, and now the penalty, Mike, because it was not declined, because it's coming here and it moves it up to the 50-yard line. Says I'm going to take out some frustrations here after missing that extra point and kick this one out of the end zone. 6 plays, 49 yards, a minute 55 seconds, and the drive started on the Miami 49-yard line. Crockett with a 2-yard touchdown run.
Ron, you're still only down 7 points. Frank Costa regained this ball club, get them in the huddle, regain what they did in the first couple drives. They were successful. Put the ball in the hands of number 28.
Pass comes out to Stewart to the flat, and he's going to be hit from behind. He was looking to see where to take his charge, and he got knocked down by Alexander. Sterling came from behind and pushed him out at around the 25-yard line.
Big win by East Carolina today over South Carolina. Ron, I was watching the Georgia highlights come in today. I'm going to tell you something. I'm a believer Eric Zier is the best college football player in the country tonight. Now, I believe he is playing as well as any player on any team.
Every time we've seen him this year, he's done nothing to dispel that.
And a lot of heart. I'm on his bandwagon. I like him. I tell you, I like the fight in Eric Zier.
Stewart again. Turns the corner. Yes, he gets the block, and he's going to have the first down across the 30. Todd Rebold, junior from Punta Gorda, makes the tackle.
And that's what they did successfully in the first quarter. Ran James Stewart. That slows down the rush of the Florida State defensive line. Just a little toss sweep, turn by Frank Costa to James Stewart. See the good blocking downfield. First down.
Stewart, by the way, is 6'3", 245. So it's not like you're going to go out for a day in the park when you got to come up and tackle him. You better be very sincere about your efforts. Larry Jones is coming to spelling right now. Slip screen. German, and he's going to be wrapped up. That's Devin Bush, who had the big play last year with the pickoff against Miami to turn things.
Ron, what Florida State's trying to do, first down is a down they have to win. They have a goal at Florida State to hold you less than 3 yards on first down. They were successful in that play. Now it's second and long yardage. They're trying to play Miami with 6 people in the box. Now, if they can play with 6 people in the box and stop the run, long night for Miami, because it gives them the extra defenders in the pass. But you'll see 6 people in the box here stopping the run.
Green, Jateel Green, he's a freshman out of Lake City. Extremely talented. They think he's going to be the next great one here.
Here's what I'm talking about. The 6 people inside right here have to stop the run for Florida State. Now, if they're successful stopping it against the offensive line, then it's going to be a long night for Miami offensively. Frank Costa with a good throw to the outside. Jateel Green's a good young receiver. He reminds me of the Andre Cooper for Florida State. They're both big play young receivers.
Good numbers on Costa, 70% for 65 yards in his first day. Shows blitz, and they stay at home, and they swing it out to Jonathan Harris. And Mike Tirico, ye with the natty tie today. What do you have for us?
Well, thank you, sir. Southern Cal coming out of the locker room ahead 7, and Brad Otten is holding himself up quite well, filling in for Rob Johnson. 50-yard catch and run by Keyshawn Johnson. They score 3 plays later. The Trojans lead by 14. And in the Astrodome, Houston, which has been losing by an average of 30 or so, right now scoreless with A&M.
Mike, that's always been a ball game. If you look at rivalry situations, and the Cougars have always played Texas A&M tough. This running play is going to go absolutely nowhere because James Roberson, number 47, stepped up into the hole, and Stewart said, wait a minute, I'm going down quickly here.
Ron, first down is a down that you've got to make something happen. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the box. Now you're at a little bit of a disadvantage with the open side in. James Roberson, number 47, made the tackle. Now they'll go to 6 in the box, bring in the extra DB, or move a linebacker out to try to help with the pass.
Daniel Ferguson, number 1, is coming to the lineup. And the reason for the delay is the Miami bench is being asked to step back off the sideline a little bit. Everybody's got, what did you call it, Mike, a get-back coach. But this time the officials were doing it.
I think the get-back coach is up front watching the action.
This one you want to be as close to it as you can be. 3rd down and 6. The line to make is the 46 of Florida State. 14-7, Seminoles lead. See movement on the left side. 73, Ricky Perry started back with that left foot, and Boulware came across the line of scrimmage.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
See the wide rush there, Ron? That's what Perry's trying to make sure he gets out there a little bit. There's a little movement. But see, he's so anxious to get out and block the outside rush of Peter Boulware, number 58, that he moved too soon.
Got that 6'7", 329 going backwards, and he couldn't get it back and forward. Boulware was pressured again, and that ball is blocked. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Derek Alexander. So it is 4th down. And again, let's keep an eye on the middle of the special team, simply because unless they make a change, it could be a problem all night. Using Tremaine Mack, an undersized deep snapper. There he is, number 24.
Really got to have some big, the slot players, the 2 slot players, and the personal protector really have to do a job inside.
And they're coming up the middle again, and he doesn't get it off. And for the second time tonight, Florida State has stopped Miami from punting, and it is at the 23-yard line. Eric Smith with the recovery again.
Well, when you're successful doing it one time, you're going to see it more and more during this ball game. And don't put all the blame on number 24, Tremaine Mack, because he's the snapper. That's his job, to get the football back there. But what's happening is, you see from behind, the inside rush. Tremaine snaps the football. No one picks up the inside rusher. Watch coming at the punter. If you're punting the football, there's no way. They have to pick. The slot players are the players that are making the mistakes up there.
Well, it was Guerriere. Dulac Guerriere is the man who blocked that attempted punt. And straight ahead, Warwick Dunn. And boy, he really takes a shot after he's hit from the front and then from behind. Pat Riley was the first man there.
Ron, it's such a big play, the punt. But I really believe the mistake is being made by the slot backs. And I'll show you after this play what I'm talking about.
Seminoles on top. Under 10 minutes to play in the opening half. Pass intercepted in the flat. That's C.J. Richardson. And he's trying to get a convoy in front. One man. Can he beat Cannell? Cannell gets over and it helps stop the play.
Ensure that this play does not get blocked. Those 3 players have to work inside. You see, they just open up the floodgates. Now, Miami defense back up. C.J. Richardson's going to pick off a poorly thrown football to Melvin Pearsall. It's intercepted. C.J. Richardson now turns a field position mistake into Miami favor. Big plays, Ron, already in this ball game.
2 pickoffs of Danny Cannell passes. Warwick Dunn finally made the tackle. Pass in the flat. That's Corey Fuller with the coverage. Fans wanted a little pass interference. It was complete.
When you play both these teams, Ron, if you're coaching against them or playing against them, people play them real soft in the secondary because they have great speed. But playing against each other, they challenge the receivers. You see, Chris T. Jones that came off the line of scrimmage. Corey Fuller, he doesn't care about that speed. He's going to try to stay right with him. Jam on the receiver, very important. Corey Fuller coming off a knee injury.
Derek Alexander, you got a good look at the big guy out of Jacksonville, knowing we have an opportunity. Now we got to keep the Hurricanes out of the end zone, and they run right at him. 5 yards, counted off at 6, 7, and 8. Hamlet finally will make the stop on Stewart, but it is a first down for the Hurricanes of Miami.
Ron, the player that makes this play was Jonathan Harris, number 3. He's a little guy, only he's 5'9", 170, but he got a block on the linebacker that really sprung the play.
Derek Brooks injured on the play, and it looks like either an ankle or the right knee. That's the foot. The right foot. We'll get a report. First down, Miami. The ball inside the 20-yard line. Draw play. That will was doomed from the get-go. Daniel Ferguson got there a little quick and then got also Florida State very quickly. Derek Brooks. Again, the trainers are right there. It looks like he's going to try to walk it off, but let's see if they try to retape him or put ice on it or exactly what. Maybe just a stinger. Sometimes hurts real bad for a little bit and then it's gone.
One thing about Florida State, they have a lot of depth. With even Derek Brooks out, they still have some pretty good linebackers.
Costa under pressure, gets by a second person, and then throws it, and the ball is dropped. Cy Tucker. Derek Alexander had him. He was dead in his tracks, and he got by him, then got by Tyrant Marion, and threw the ball, and Tucker dropped it.
Well, what Florida State is trying to do, I'm going to circle Derek. Oh, it's going too fast. Derek Alexander is lined up on the outside eye of the guard. That means he's single blocked. When you single block Derek Alexander, you better make sure you have him blocked.
Well, Brooks is back in the ball game. Obviously, he thinks he's well enough to go. Lobs it over the middle. It is caught. A.C. Tellison, first and goal, Miami. And you could see what happened. Bush went for the interception.
Ron, excellent concentration by A.C. Tellison. Frank Costa with the throw. A.C. Tellison looks this ball right into his hands. You see it's behind him. Devin Bush was going for the interception, but great concentration by A.C. Tellison.
And now a timeout has been called by the Hurricanes. So let's take it with them. 7:33 left until halftime. 14-7 Florida State. By 7, and it's time for the Sega Students of the Game. For Florida State, senior linebacker Derek Brooks, he's majoring in communications, has a 3.3 GPA. And for Miami, senior defensive tackle Dwayne Johnson, he's majoring in general studies and has a 2.8. Sega congratulates these fine student athletes.
Ron, you'd think you're a James Stewart, 245-pound tailback, 1st and 5. They hammer him right at Florida State.
We will see as 3 wide receivers come to the bottom of the screen. And that's what they do. Stewart bounces outside, and he'll walk in.
We talk big plays, Ron. Put an asterisk behind C.J. Richardson's interception because they had a chance to open up the floodgates when he picked that pass off.
Yeah, 21-7 would have been huge. 58 yards on the return by Richardson. And Dane Pruitt trying to tie this ball game. And he does. So we'll take a break. 7:28 left in this opening half. Canes 14, the Seminoles 14. Tied at 14 apiece, and Mike Gottfried, just what you had suggested. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment as you look at the offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes. And those big tackles particularly did quite a job. As you can see, the FSU guys sitting in front of that fan and taking a break. Tied at 14. Riley and Tiger McMillan waiting on this Dane Pruitt kickoff. This is McMillan. And McMillan runs into his own man.
Ron, Miami with a good mismatch here. Here's a 300-pound tackle, Ricky Perry, versus a linebacker who's 205. You're going to get a good block out here by Cy Tucker against Derek Brooks. Now we'll start the play. Now watch, Derek Brooks, stop it right here. Stop it. Derek Brooks in pretty good shape, and now gets hooked. And now James Stewart is able to get outside. And I don't know if he was holding him or what, but he did not get off the block. Derek Brooks.
339 pounds comes down on you. It's you're pretty well hooked. Now Cannell, with his back to the student section, is having to endure the loudest offensive surge for him tonight, and he throws that one very, very short. Kes McCorvey is who he wanted.
Yeah, Warren Sapp is disrupting this passing game, just roaring up the field. The Miami defense, the 4-3 defense, is predicated on the fact that Pat Riley, Warren Sapp have to get penetration up inside, force the double teams.
They try to send him straight ahead, and Warren Sapp steps right up into the hole and says, nope, that's the end of it. And Kenny Holmes.
Ron, coaches talk about techniques, and now look at what they're doing. They're moving Warren Sapp over here, and he's on the outside eye. That means the center can't help at all blocking him. So it's a single block all the way. Now the tackle helps, but comes off, and Warren Sapp makes the tackle. So Miami is moving Warren Sapp side to side, trying to get him in the position to be outside of the guard.
Taking a page from the Florida State book because of Derek Alexander and all the moves that they've done with him.
Good point.
Near side. It is thrown complete and close to the first down. Wayne Messam, the receiver. Let's see where they put it down. Boy, this one is going to be close, and they're going to ask for the change from across the way. Hard to tell because they got to come all the way across the field. Like, I think this would be very, very big as far as Florida State is concerned, to take a little of the momentum and the crowd away from Miami, because they seem to have garnered more momentum right now than they had earlier.
Are you saying to pick up the first down and go for it?
No, to pick up the first down. I definitely wouldn't go for it.
I know that man's a gambler on that side, but if you don't make it, you've opened up the gates.
Nope, not suggesting they do that. And they got it.
They don't have to make that decision. His stomach feels a lot better, Bobby Bowden. The Warrick Dunn has not done a lot here in the first half. They have not been able to spring him loose in the running game, or even to flare him out of the backfield. He has been a non-factor so far in the first half.
We're tied at 14 and about to go under 6 minutes left until halftime. Crockett, and he'll take it out to the 35-yard line. It's going to be a pickup of 6. Well, here Warrick Dunn's career numbers in big games. .67 against Miami on 6 attempts last year. Now, one thing we need to remind, though, he did only have 33 yards rushing against Florida, but he also had a pass that went for 73 yards, didn't he? That set up.
He's 3 for 3 tonight. 3 carries, 3 yards. They have to either get him or Rock Preston involved running the football.
Pass hit in the air, blocked and knocked down by Cannell. Very smart move. Mike Tirico, what do you have for us?
Another quarterback looking smart. Freshman Tim Alexander out of the bone for Oregon State that Mike was talking about earlier. A 10-play, 80-yard drive. This guy was 4th on the preseason depth chart. Now he has his team within 8.
Yep, the Ducks trying to play him close.
That wishbone, they'll power it at you. Warren Saffron on that last play with a good deflection. You're right. Good play by Danny Cannell.
Just knock that thing down and get it away from everybody. They need the 39. Throws it complete. Did he have enough? Yes, he does. Kes McCorvey. And from where they've spotted it, he's going to have the first down.
Little short route by Kes McCorvey. He knows where the sticks are at. Just a little quick move against the linebacker, Twan Russell, number 45, for the first down.
Mike, he's not the fastest, but he is terribly quick, and they were trying to jam the receivers in practice the other day, and they were really hard-pressed just to get a hand on him. And now he's just going to throw this one away.
I thought it was interesting, Ron, what Gil Brandt of the Cowboys, formerly the Cowboys, said. He just reminds him so much of Drew Pearson. And we all know what kind of career Drew Pearson had.
Here are the numbers on Danny Cannell so far tonight. 10 of 19, 115 yards, and 2 interceptions.
We'd like to have a couple of those back.
One particularly as they were driving in to score in the first quarter, but then the 58-yard return also turned into points. Direct snap. Instead of going to the quarterback, but Miami was ready for that. Dwayne Johnson steps up and makes the hit.
All the single wing coaches, the old coaches, are happy to see this play. This is a single wing play. This is a snap to Warwick done up inside. Dwayne Johnson, number 94, makes the play. They say everything comes back in football. Maybe a little single wing.
Everything except the blocking back. Cannell, great presence in the pocket. He threw it low, but he threw it low wisely. He didn't want to get it picked off, and he also could feel the pressure. He was about to get sacked.
Bernard Lang, number 96, working him out of the pocket. Danny Cannell stepped up in the pocket, but just didn't feel like he had a lot of time and threw it in the ground. Warren Sapp, quite a player, Ron. Quite a defensive lineman.
Sean Liss is going to be kicking into the breeze this time. 57 yards on his first. And this one's going to be shorter. Germany is going to have to run away from it. And Florida State is going to touch this one dead at the 11-yard line. Mike Adamle, it's a 45-yard punt. What do you have for us?
Well, Ron, when Miami lost to Washington, they looked at it, the players did, as more of an aberration than a trend, the beginning of the end of their dynasty. They're not as brash as they used to be, but they're still talking. Team leaders Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis have been most vocal this week, and they had plenty to say about the cover of the Florida State media guide. The Seminoles pictured in victory over the vanquished Canes.
They just showed me that they fear us.
You know, how much fear they have of Miami.
It's a slap in the face, really.
If you look on our front page, when we win, you don't see any Florida State. That's what they do. So we'll take that.
Reaction by Costa. Going up on top and throws it complete. Jamie German.
Ron, there's not a lot of love between these two teams. It started a long time ago. But I'll tell you, really deep down, I think there's a lot of respect for both teams. When they get on this field, they know they got to gas it up, fill the tank up, because it's going to take 4 quarters.
Mike Adamle, back to you.
Well, you know, that's the one thing that has been missing, thank God, from this game. There hasn't been any trash talking, except on the part of the alumni that are sprinkling the sidelines here. They're going crazy.
Do they know how to do that, Mike? Come down to 1 second and the running play with Larry Jones, and he's going to be wrapped up by Sam Cowart, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, just across the 30. We're under 4 minutes now until halftime.
Miami doing a nice job, 2 of alternating running backs, bringing Larry Jones into the ball game. James Stewart playing a lot. Danielle Ferguson in there at the tailback spot, so trying to keep fresh legs at the tailback position.
Miami has got some really good-looking young wide receivers. They're mixed in with their seniors. Jamie German has been very present, made his presence felt tonight. Also Green with that one big catch. Draw play again, and Ferguson breaks off a tackle, almost gets by a second. Eric Smith and Devin Bush both got a hand on him, and let's see, I believe he's going to have the first down up at the 38.
They're trying with the wide rush of the defensive ends. You're going to see them go up the field trying to make sure that Frank Costa doesn't have a lot of time to throw. They just turn those wide ends out and they turn it over to the defensive backs. Devin Bush, number 11, making the tackle. The linebackers have to make the play on the draw.
Jones comes back in with 23. 44-yard line, and let's check in again with Mike Adamle.
You know, there's such a fraternity among former Hurricane players that it's really quite remarkable. Lamar Thomas was at practice last week. I know Michael Irvin calls somebody every single day. And if you can't watch on television, you come to the game. Alonzo Highsmith, class of 87. Your greatest moment, your greatest impressions of this series?
I tell you what, Florida State is a team that, if you were Ray Charles, you could see them on the field. I mean, this is a big game for the state of Florida and for the Miami program. So whenever we played each other, it was like two heavyweight fighters just slugging it out, and the guy who could stand up the longest usually won.
You know, one of the things that's been interesting to me, and I think it's a good thing for both squads, the respect is there. There's no more trash talking, but the alumni, all of you are kind of beside yourself on the sideline. You're still into it.
Oh, yeah, we get into it. You know, we like to come back and cheer for the team because we're all part of it. Guys like Michael Irvin and the guys who can't be here, they're all here in presence. And, we just come down and support the team, man. We just love to come back and say hello to all the fellas and let them know that we're behind them.
All right, Alonzo, enjoy the game. Thanks for joining us.
Very much.
So you could see the lateral, and they tried to throw the halfback pass unsuccessfully.
Ron, this third down's big because if they don't make it, they've got to punt again. And that's been Florida State's biggest play in the first half, the punt block.
Brooks, and he grabbed him by the face mask. That's going to be a major. Can't be a 5-yarder there. Made the tackle with his hands on the face mask.
Talking about earlier, the cadence, he had that one timed perfect. Put his hands on the face mask. You see number 10 sneaking up. Now he has a time now. Jumps, avoids the block of the back. Danielle Ferguson, number 1, but hands on the helmet and the face mask. That was a big play, because it kept him from punting the football.
I'm really surprised. I'm not questioning the official, but I'm surprised since he tackled him with the face mask that it was not the 15-yard unsportsmanlike variety. In other words, an automatic first down.
Well, they had 3rd and 5. Maybe it was 5 1/4 or 5 1/2. You're going to have to measure it. A little late call on the first down, Ron.
Yep.
Now Miami has to think field goal, score before half.
Clock is running now, under 2 minutes until intermission time.
Dennis Erickson has 2 timeouts left, Ron.
Danielle Ferguson back in the ballgame. He's not the biggest at 6 feet 195, but he certainly has broken a lot of tackles tonight. Costa, boy, he's got a man right here. Just now picked him up. Unattended is Ferguson. Breaks another tackle and pushed out of bounds by Darrell Bush. Inside the 35-yard line.
Go back to the big play here when they had 3rd and 5. Derek Brooks coming over the block of the running back. Ferguson grabs the face mask. And who do you think's the most relieved person in this stadium is? Number 24. That's right, first down. The punt snapper.
Tremaine Mack, who actually is a strong safety.
And that'll be the first thing the Miami coaches do when they enter that locker room, is go over that punt protection.
Larry Jones, he's going to be stopped at the 30. Derek Brooks makes the tackle, and we hit 120 and now 119.
Tackled by Derek Brooks. 2nd down, 7 on the 30.
Throw, and that ball was caught. He posted it with one hand, and then Chris T. Jones brought it down with the other.
What a catch. You're right, Ron. Chris T. Jones. Really, Clifton Abraham kind of gave up on the play. He thought the catch was there. He thought the ball was dropped. Top receiver, Chris T. Jones, 85 on an out route. Frank Costa with a high throw. Wow. Excellent catch by Chris T. Jones.
So they moved the change. The ball is now at the 23-yard line. This is the 9th play of the drive, and they call James Stewart to come back on the field, the 245-pound running back out of Vero Beach. Florida State with the blitz again, and that's where they come with Stewart. Tries to get it outside on the left. 15 at the 10, and they throw him out of bounds, and it'll stop the clock at 35 ticks.
What happens when you get people blitzing inside, if you get the counter play, you can seal them down inside. James Stewart able to get outside here.
That was, you saw 73 Ricky Perry throw an outstanding block on the play.
6'7", 329 pounds. Now you think touchdown with 2 timeouts and 35 seconds.
You throw the fade to the wide side of the field.
Fade's got a possibility here. I think you're looking at a throw here right now.
Stewart, 2 touchdowns.
And look for number 7. He's the guy they like to try to get the ball to on a quick post or a fade.
It's Jamie German who he's talking about, and now Frank Costa wants a timeout. So we'll take it with him. 35 seconds until halftime, and Miami trying to break out of the tie. Left until halftime. Florida State 14, Miami 14, and the Canes trying to push it in. Derek Alexander and the defensive unit, well, they have played very well, but a couple of miscues. Miami has 14 points off interceptions tonight.
And Ron, with 35 seconds and 1 timeout, you can still run the football. They've had success running to the tight end side right here. Tight end side, but also number 7 on the outside. Big play receiver, Jamie German. Over the middle, and that's who we look for. Jamie German, and Jamie says, wow, I was open and it was just too tall. I'm only 6 feet. I couldn't get up there. Ron, he was wide open. First guy out to the workout. Jamie German, number 7, comes in motion, and Frank Costa, you're going to see, sees Jamie German wide open, just throws the ball over his head. Now, number 45, Henry Crockett, in fairness, flashed in there late. It's a great-looking shot off that camera on the goalpost. It made you feel like you were a defensive back. Ron, I think I'd give 1 play to Stewart here. Try to run it in. Well, that's what they do. Stewart in the draw play. Hit at the 2, and he'll take it down to the 1-yard line. Now you got to use your timeout. Henry Crockett made the stop. Clock still running, and they stop it at 20. Miami calls the timeout. Now here's the problem you have, Ron, in this situation as a coach. There's only 20 seconds. If you try to run the football in here, you may not get a second play. I mean, you should be able to if everybody gets off the ground and you get your lineman hustle. But you also got the possibility, 3rd and 1, you got to play to throw one and try to get it in, and then you got to play to come back and try to run it in. And let's check with Mike Adamle.
Ron Franklin, Heisman Trophy winner Gino Torretta certainly knows about the burden of trying to follow the legacy of quarterback Hugh. Your impressions on Frank Costa here in the first half?
He's played well. He's throwing the ball real well. He's mixing up the snap counts. He's got a lot of offsides penalties. And, you know, I said it before, the guys are going to win the ball game, the guys up front, and James Stewart running the football hard.
You know, Gino has said that he can't read the newspapers. He can't listen to those talk radio shows. The criticism hasn't been intense, especially after the Washington game. What is it like, the pressure of being a Miami quarterback?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't think any one of us read the papers or listened to the radio the whole time we were down here. But, you know, especially this game, there's a lot of pressure on you just from the fans. I mean, the coaching staff. I mean, this game puts you in a national championship hunt. And, you know, Frank's played well, and I wish him the best. And hopefully we're playing real well.
Did you talk to him before the game at all? Any words of advice?
I just told him, I said, you just go out there and do what you do. I said, don't worry too much about taking too much of the burden of the game on yourself. I said, you know, just let the boys run the ball and let the guys up front dominate, because as long as you don't turn the ball over in this game, we're looking fine.
Gino, quickly, what about your pro career? Where does it stand right now?
Well, I worked out for Pittsburgh last week, and hopefully something will work out with them in the next couple weeks.
Good luck. We look forward to seeing you in the NFL down the road.
Okay, Mike, the situation, 20 seconds until halftime. We're tied at 14.
Ryan Collins is in at quarterback, which means some kind of sprint out here, Ron. You got a sprint out quarterback. Try to either run pass option here, I would believe. Try to roll him.
Now Florida State saw the change, and they have called a timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Miami.
So coming up in the GMAC halftime report, the Irish fall again, Auburn and the Streak, and the Heisman Watch. That and more coming up on the GMAC halftime report. All of that coming with Mike Tirico on the halftime report.
Ron, Boston College with a big win today. You watched a lot of that game. George Warhop, the offensive line coach, Boston College, a very good game plan by Dan Henning's ball club. Offensive line really controlled, good defense, and a big win for them.
You know, the one thing that I'm happy for Dan and his staff is there were a lot of people who questioned that move when it happened. And when those thousands of kids came running on the field this afternoon, a really good point was made. You know, Dan Henning is a very good football coach. Purcell and some other people, Parcells and some other people recommended him, and they know what kind of background he's got. And obviously, he's doing a good job.
No doubt, Ron. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, let's go back to this one. If Ryan Collins 20 seconds, so you think it's going to be a run-pass situation. What I mean by that is roll him to the right or left. If he can run the ball in and can get in the end zone, run it in. If he can't, throw it away so I get another play.
12th play of the drive. Stewart, the setbacks. That's what they're going to do. They sprint it out. Now he throws the pass. Derek Harris with the touchdown. With the extra point, and with 14 seconds left until halftime, the Hurricanes go on top 21-14.
Ron, an excellent call by Dennis Erickson, because you got a quarterback that can run, rolling to the right. Now this is a play action pass. If he can run it in, that's the run it in. If you can't throw it in, if you can't do either, throw it away so we get another play. Derek Harris, number 34, had a key block on an earlier touchdown and a reception now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Florida Lottery.
Frank Costa. Yep, and Dennis Erickson, the reaction as they go on top 21-14. Costa doesn't care how they get it done. He just wants it done.
Well, that's a great way to have your second team quarterback come in there and help. Mickey Andrews, defensive coordinator, just trying to get Derek Brooks, get organized over there, because they let Ryan Collins get outside. That's the one thing you can't let a sprint out quarterback do, get outside. Then he does have both options.
12 plays, 89 yards, just over 3 minutes consumed. And look at the balance on that drive. 6 and 6 run and pass. Dane Pruitt kicks this one away. Ellison will catch it 9 yards deep. Well, coming up at noon tomorrow, Emmitt Smith talks about his nagging injuries on NFL Game Day. Miami's Brian Cox returns to Buffalo with his lawsuit against the NFL still pending. Then at 7 o'clock, it's the NFL Primetime. Join Chris Berman, Robin Roberts, and Tom Jackson for wall-to-wall highlights all tomorrow here on ESPN. from Cannell to Costa. They got time for maybe a couple of plays. Nope, they're going to go on one knee, go to the locker room and talk it over. And the clock ticks down, and the Miami Hurricanes, that's the end of the first half with our score. Hurricanes 21 and the Seminoles of Florida State 14. Now let's join Mike Tirico for the halftime report.
Ron, thank you. Folks, as advertised, the definitive ebb and flow there in the first half. On the GMAC halftime report, full Seminoles by 7. All the highlights coming up, so don't go away.
Here in the press box, and I have a feeling America is too. What in the world are the Hurricanes going to do about their punt formation situation?
Well, first of all, they got to get a better snap, but they've got to block it a little bit better. They may even come down a little bit tighter and tight punt the thing and force everything outside and try to kick it quick.
Mike Adamle down on the sideline with Coach Bowden. Mike?
Bobby, first of all, your thoughts on Danny Cannell. Moments of brilliance and then the interceptions.
Yeah, I said before the game, and I meant it, whoever makes the fewest mistakes wins. Both of them have too much ability to allow mistakes. We've made 2 terrible mistakes. They've capitalized on both of them, and I think we capitalized on a couple of theirs.
What was the general theme of your talk to the team at halftime?
They're beating up. We nearly had them. We nearly had them on the ropes, and they got off of it. Now we got to get them back on it. It's a 60-minute ball game. It really doesn't mean anything yet. We got to come back and start fighting. I think we've been pushed around up to this point.
Okay, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Bobby Bowden always very candid and saying that he thought his kids have been pushed around in the first 30 minutes of play for the most part.
Well, I think they have been pushed around, except for the 2 punt mistakes. Miami's kind of dominated the first half. They have run the football successfully. Florida State has not been able to run the football successfully.
Riley from the 1. Here are the stats for the first 30 minutes of play.
Ron, when you look at the key stats, Florida State 12 rushing attempts, only 32 yards. I mean, and compared to Miami, 25 for 96. Miami has more balance, more dimensions than Florida State has had in the first half. Bobby Bowden was right. He had Miami reeling a little bit and left them off the hook.
Been grabbing that stool. Back surgery for Bowden in August, and has to take a break, get the pressure off that thing from time to time. John will take it straight ahead for short yardage. In fact, speaking of him, let's take a look at what he did in that first half.
Well, he has to get the football. 4 attempts inside for just 7 yards. Outside, not an attempt yet. But that's the respect for the Miami defense because they run so well. So everything they're trying to do in the running game is right at that speed.
Barely over 2 yards a try for Dunn so far tonight. He's going to be hit by Sapp at the line of scrimmage and knocked down for no gain. In fact, he may have lost a little.
He's having a career night, Warren Sapp. You and I have talked about best defensive lineman in the country. He may be it. Ellis Johnson of Florida is another one. But watch Warren Sapp play off. He made contact, read the block, and then slid to the outside to make the tackle on Zach Crockett. He gets off blocks very rapidly.
3rd down. The line to make for Florida State up at the 28-yard line.
They moved into the right side, and again, he's off of the guard, so he can't be double-teamed in a drop-back pass, but on the run, he is blocked by the tackle. Now the guard comes back and doesn't really give a good effort. They had a chance. Patrick McNeil let him slide inside. They had the double on him.
German with a fair catch at the 46-yard line. 40 yards in the punt. We'll be right back. As we play in the early moments of this third quarter from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Mike, maybe a little bit more high scoring than what everybody had thought, but I don't think anybody's disappointed. This is a typical meeting between the Noles and the Kings.
And Ron, number 11, Frank Costa, had a pretty good first half. Kept his offense in control and kept them poised. Maybe that they had some blood on Devin Bush would be the only thing that I can think of here that made him leave the field.
So that is exactly what happened. They had to call a timeout, either because of the way that jersey was fit or blood on it. Mike, you're exactly right. Intercepted. Sean Hamlet.
Ron, Jamie German, number 7, ran into the official and got not really knocked down on the play. Or maybe it was Harris. Let's take a look at this pattern. A fake and a roll to the right. I believe it's... See the official?
It is. It's Harris.
It's Harris. He ran right into the official, and he went down. He was the receiver. So he collided with the official. Sean Hamlet on the interception, and field position has changed again.
And Dennis is saying you got to avoid the umpire. So a turnover. And Florida State gets the football right back. And this time just across the 45-yard line. In the flat, and he'll take it close to the first down.
And that was covered very well by James Burgess, number 54. Ball was thrown right in there by Danny Cannell. Again, the screen pass that they had success with in the first half, going back to. Still think somewhere in this ball game, number 28 has to become a bigger factor.
Much of an opening, but he will have the first down. Lang grabbed him by the waistline and yanked him down.
Ron, we talked about in the first half of how Florida State moves Derek Alexander around. Well, that is exactly what Miami's doing. Warren Sapp is lining up on both sides, and they exchange him. Usually he's always lined up on the right, but sometimes tonight he's been on the left side.
Go up on top. Well covered and almost intercepted. Chad Wilson had him step for step. In fact, he was measuring the throw as it was arcing. Wayne Messam is who they wanted, and of course Wayne is a little bit of a mismatch in size since he's 6'4".
When you look at last week now, as we watch Wayne Messam, number 89, remember Florida State had an open date last week. He's working against Chad Wilson. There's two things happen in open date. One, you get all your injured player back, but your timing sometimes off when you come back the week after.
Dunn slips to the outside, tries to stiff arm, and he couldn't get by Ray Lewis.
Speed, speed, and more speed. There's not a slow player on the football field.
If Dunn is able to get by Lewis, possibly that's when he gives you damage, is when he gets into the secondary and starts to do what he does best.
But even though he's still carrying the football more, he will make things happen if you give him the football.
He's got him open. McCarty at the 20. And he'll take it down to the 11-yard line.
Good fake again. Kes McCormy on a crossing route. Check the linebacker, Ray Lewis, number 52. He's not real sure where the football's at. Gets caught up inside. Kes McCorvey just goes behind him, inside of the defensive backs. Number 19, C.J. Richardson with the play. Again, credit that completion to Danny Cannell's ball handling and the fact that they are concerned about Warrick Dunn.
Crockett takes it straight ahead, and he'll go inside the 10, around the 8. Kenny Holmes bangs on him. 21-14. Hurricanes lead. Just under 11 minutes to play now, third quarter.
Pearsall coming into the game. Melvin Pearsall, the coaches, when we had him against North Carolina, said he has the best hands we've ever had on campus. And that's saying a mouthful.
Deep and Orr had him open, and he waited. Ellison knows he caught it well out of bounds.
There was either a bust on that play or they decided just to send 2 receivers out. Looked like he was looking for somebody inside. Carlos Jones, number 12, fell down, but Omar Ellison, number 30, just ran out of real estate.
So it's third down. Complete, and it'll be downed at the 6-yard line as Warrick Dunn drew worlds of attention as Corwin Francis
trying to get Warrick Dunn over here on a little angle pass inside against the linebackers, but too quick a reaction by Corwin Francis.
Also Kenny Holmes came back quickly. So Scott Bentley will attempt the field goal. It'll be placed down at the 24. 13-yard line, a 23-yard attempt, and he's good on the kick. So let's take a break. 21-17 our score. Canes still on top. 9:52 remaining. Showing what kind of night it is here in Miami. We've got a nice breeze coming out of the south, but it is very, very hot. And these players, we understand that you know, the intake of liquids on the sideline has been very, very high.
Miami defense have been tested with turnovers and have responded, just allowing a field goal.
Bentley's kick, and this one's going to go out of bounds. And let's check in with Mike Adamle, speaking to the Heat. Mike?
We're on a word on Devin Bush, who incidentally is going back in the game. The reason why he was pulled from the game at halftime, he was so dehydrated he needed a unit of glucose, and he was also pouring down tons of replacement liquids like Gatorade and the like. Problem was he couldn't keep it down, so the referee kindly took him out of the ball game.
Okay, Michael. And, of course, the officials trying to make sure of the welfare of the kids, and when he was thrown up on the field, that's when they called timeout and said maybe you ought to go to the sidelines. But obviously, they think he is better now, or he thinks he's better. Mike, I think one of the things we ought to keep an eye on is Sean Hamlet had the interception a moment ago on the collision over the middle. He's a replacement player tonight. Cannell Spain, because 2 starters lost for the season by Florida State in their last game.
Good point.
Bounces outside, has 5, has 10, counted off at 15, and now at 19. And Mike Tirico, what do you have for us?
Ron, we mentioned at halftime, 47 years since Utah's been in the top 25. Mike McCoy, their quarterback, to Curtis Marsh, a 20-yard score at the Murph. The Utes lead by 7.
Well, the Utes jumping out on top, and folks up there are excited about cracking that top 25. I know.
Ron McBride, a former assistant at Arizona, has really brought that program around.
The 23. Hamlet on the tackle.
Well, Miami usually doesn't throw to the tight end. Saeed Tucker, number 81, Then you have to credit Frank Costa again with a good fake. Once your running game is established, the play-action passing game, even a single-back offense, becomes very effective against the linebackers.
Stewart again. Inside the 15, and he's pushed out of bounds. They're going to say at the 8-yard line. Terrell Green, one of those paving the way with a good block.
Counter play. It's going to be a counter play, and we're going to have the pull the backside guard and tackle. Terrell Green with a good block, number 51, and everything that Frank Costa and Dennis Erickson's calling now is working on Florida State defense.
Terrell Green out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, a senior. Stewart to the wide side of the field, and this time Florida State will en masse put a stopper on him. Now for this kind of running game, this is where this really comes into play, Mike, at 296 and 245 as far as the averages. For line charges against pass plays and what have you, with quickness, as you talked about earlier, it doesn't play as big a part. But down here, when you go nose to nose, it really does, doesn't it?
The big tackles, Perry and Lemelski, number 77, are really opening up some good plays on the power, on the zone play, and also the counter.
21-17, Miami. 8:10 left in the third. Breaks off a tackle, but will not get by the second, and that is Cannell Spain. And a flag has come down on the near sideline. Cannell Spain, one of those we're talking about, who's a replacement player.
Derek Brooks really made a great play, Ron. Came underneath the counter play.
This is Stewart who is down. James Stewart. He's got 16 carries for 97 yards in the ball game.
Here's James Stewart on the play. Derek Brooks was able to get in and beat the block of the guard. And then the Darrell Bush, number 44, in on the tackle. Cannell Spain.
Well, as we mentioned, 97 yards, but he also has 2 touchdowns. Favoring his left leg, and you see the tap by Clifton Abraham of Florida State, and then another player comes over. That's Sean Hamlet. Yeah, this is a good rivalry, but also, you know what Mike Adamle said off the top, respect is a great thing in this game, because a lot of these kids played against or with each other in high school, and they do respect each other.
There's no doubt. I mean, when you see a good player and performance, you respect that player, and there's a lot of respect tonight for James Stewart.
From the 20. Following that holding call, the ball is in the air. It's alive, and it'll fall to the turf after Derek Brooks got a hand on it.
Well, Derek Brooks is turning up the heat a little bit. He has just made 2 very good plays. On the counter play, made the tackle, and then he was in on the pass play. And that's what Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, expects out of number 10. Plays that are going to make the difference in the ball game.
So it's third down.
You got to look to Jamie German, number 7. He's your big play receiver. Steps up and almost picked off by Derek Brooks.
Peter Boulware with the heavy pressure on the play, and Costa went down.
You're right on Boulware, number 58. Derek Alexander, number 90, with pressure. It's a three-man rush. Here comes the fourth man, Boulware from the outside. Derek Brooks again, almost with an interception. A little bit too hard thrown for him to pick it off.
Pruitt to attempt the field goal, and this will be placed down at the 27-yard line. A 37-yard attempt. Plenty of distance and accuracy. He gets it. So we'll take a break. Hurricanes 24, the Seminoles 17. Back after this. That he might have kept that 3 points off the board if he was able to hold on to that almost interception a moment ago.
Well, if you're going to be an All-American, you have to raise your level in a game like this, and you play consistent all year, but there's times when you have to make plays. That was nearly impossible for him to pick that play off. But I think what Mickey Andrews and Ronnie Cottrell are telling him is that you have to set the tempo on defense.
With the wind, he's been very, very deep with his kicks tonight. Riley's going to return this one, open the one. Tried to get outside and he couldn't. Carlos Jones, boy, that speed is, and both of these teams have so much of it.
First down, 10 for FSU.
That drive, 7 plays, 45 yards, using up a total of 216. The numbers on Cadell tonight: 153, 2 interceptions. He's 13 and 25. I know the youngster from growing up in this area in Fort Lauderdale would dearly love to put this one back together and put his team back on top.
Rock Preston is in at the tailback spot. He has very good hands as a pass receiver.
Cadell incomplete as the ball kind of hung up there. Pearsall is who he wanted.
Wilson and Morley provided the defense for Miami. Second down and 10.
Greg McMackin, the defensive coordinator for Miami, has really tried to rotate his defense and trying to keep fresh people on the field.
And it looks like Rohan Marley shaken up on the play. He's been trying to play with a stress fracture in his foot. Rock Preston goes down hard at the 20-yard line. C.J. Richardson is there to make the stop.
And when you like to substitute is when the other team is backed up inside their 20-yard line. Warren Sapp is not on the field right now, so this is the time that you can give him a little bit of a breather. Now, if they start to move the ball and get to a 40-yard line, I'm sure Warren Sapp will be back in the football game.
Forrest Conley in the lineup at right tackle, 79. 6'6", 325. Pass is incomplete. Zach Crockett is who the pass was intended for. I tell you, Jones came up and made the hit, but he might have gotten a little more than he bargained for when he made the hit, Mike.
Well, hit Crockett. Crockett's 245 on a dead run.
And Jones is 173
on a dead stop. This is the type of defense that these Miami fans have become accustomed to over the years.
German, the deep man. This is end over end. Calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 43. Well, tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. Laguna Seca Raceway in Monterey will be the site for Mario Andretti's last IndyCar race of his career. That is at 4 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2.
University of Miami and Florida State Universities. Thank you.
Miami's had great field position. They need to take advantage and deliver the knockout blow. Don't want to let Florida State stay around the whole game here.
About midway of this third quarter. Crowd has stayed in this one. Something that Bobby Bowden would like to see curtailed. running play by Danielle Ferguson will go for maybe one, and that's it. Guerriere comes up to make the hit, number 99.
Wholesale substitutions by Florida State. 6 players coming on the field now after first down, trying to keep fresh people on the field.
And speaking of fresh people, a 4th fullback as they list him, number 32, Alfred Shipman, sophomore out of West Palm Beach, comes in.
Florida State coaches told me they're really concerned about Shipman. He makes things happen.
And go up on top, and that's who he's looking for, Shipman. And the ball, good heavens, hit Devin Bush right in the back of the shoulder pad.
It's a way to use your head off. If at least it deflected off of it and went down to the ground. He couldn't find the football at all. He was playing the receiver. You see number 11, Devin Bush has no idea where that football's at. Nor does Al Shipman, number 32.
What Al knows is after it came off the headgear, if he caught it, he could take it in for a touchdown. It's still alive. (24-17) our score. Miami on top. Flag goes down. The pressure is on. Costa will be sacked. Now let's see if they were drawn offside or not. Because, Mike, you talk about a big reprieve rather than 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 4 makes your decision making a lot simpler.
Now, Ron, you're in better position. Now run and pass. It's an excellent screen down here for Miami. They had some success early against Florida State with the screen. Might be a good call here.
So Mickey Andrews knows that his club had the stop just a moment ago, but guilty of the violation. And now 3rd down on the line to make the 47 still of Florida State. Costa throws it complete. That's German right over the middle. And Jamie's going to have the first down at the 46-yard line. And Costa gets up slowly after getting racked after delivering the pass.
Jamie German's the inside receiver. He's just going to go down, let everybody clear out, and come inside. Both the receivers on the outside, the receiver on the outside, the receiver on the inside clear out just far enough for the Stakes and the first down.
First and 10, at the 46.
Dennis Erickson, kind of a pained expression on his face. Bobby Bowden continues to pace. And in case you missed the interview with him that Mike had at halftime, he said, I think we got pushed around in that first 30 minutes. Running play here, and this is Larry Jones. Nice job defensively as Darrell Bush steps up to make the hit. And speaking of Mike Adamle, let's check with him again. Mike?
Yeah, Ron, the word on Miami fullback James Stewart, sprained left ankle, and they expect him back in the game.
Okay.
Second down.
Tough injury and tough to say sometimes. 4.5 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. Danielle Ferguson, sophomore from right here in Miami. Again, he did. As the flag goes down, Ferguson still on his feet, and he's going to have the first down. They'll decline this penalty, and that is, in fact, what it is.
Danielle Ferguson picked up 10 yards.
Mike, he really has an interesting running style. He can give you lean, or he can give you straight up and give you the quick stutter step.
Gives you the juke. When you get a little tired sometimes, you start jumping offside. Look at the sideline now. Florida State again bringing in 6 new players. Almost every. You see all the exchange of the defensive players trying to keep them fresh. But again, you look for reasons. Maybe the open date. When you have an open date, sometimes you lose the consistency. And they're just not playing well on defense.
To find out exactly, although that one was declined, that's at least 5 times, if not 6, that they've been caught in the ballgame. Now there's to screen. And Ferguson, not much place. Well, he gets away. Good heavens. Should have been for a loss. He's going to take it back to the line of scrimmage.
That's almost the best half yard he's going to gain for a while. Talked about at the beginning, Ron, that some team, one of these two teams, had to establish the run against good rushing defense. Miami has controlled the football, 141 yards rushing against Florida State, and that has offset, big offset, 2 punt blocks.
Yeah. Well, we got it officially. 5 offsides against Florida State. The last one, of course, being declined. Passer has it knocked right back in his face by Roy. Orpheus Roy from here in Miami by way of Jones Community College. 6'4", 275 of a junior. Don't forget, coming up at the end of the game, Mike and I will choose the Visa players of the game, the outstanding players for both clubs. Mickey Andrews looks on from the sideline and hoping that Derek Alexander and the rest of those defensive charges can put a stop on this 3rd down and 10. Costa's gonna be sacked back at the 38. That's twice they've gotten him, and Cannell Spain was the first man there.
Excellent coverage downfield. That's what really made the sack. Derek Alexander, number 90, the spin move inside, but see, he keeps working. He never gives up, and then he spins in and makes the tackle on Frank Costa. Great effort by an excellent defensive lineman. Here's the coverage downfield. Pretty good coverage. Good contact down the field by Derek Brooks. The ball's not in the air. Knock him down.
Well, you can see the player go down. Jonathan Harris was knocked into his own player and is going to need a little attention. 5'9", 170, a senior out of Houston, Texas. And Mike Tirico, while we got a break in the action, let's go to you, sir.
Well, Ron, to start the Fresno State BYU game, looks like Fresno dipped into Bobby Bowden's old playbook. Little reverse, David Dunn can throw it to Charlie Jones. First play of the game. Fresno out with a good start, leading the Cougars at home by 7.
So, a little razzle-dazzle there. And, Mike, as we look down on the field, Miami is going to make a change. It is going to be Jeffrey Taylor, who is a linebacker, number 59, and he will handle the snap if that is, in fact, what they do. So Tremaine Mack remains on the sideline, and Tremaine, who is a safety but has been doing the long snaps, probably is just as happy. Well, coming up next Saturday, this is what the schedule looks like. It'll kick off at 6:30 Eastern time from the SEC. Number 10th ranked Alabama will travel to Knoxville, Tennessee, and that's been a great rivalry for a long, long time. Then at 9:30 Eastern time, the Big 8 Conference, Oklahoma against Colorado. So our doubleheader, Alabama, Tennessee, and Oklahoma, Colorado, all next week right here on ESPN.
Tennessee keeps coming back. Another win over Arkansas. Alabama didn't score many points today. People are critical in the state of Alabama that they don't score enough points, but you know what? They're 6-0, and Gene Stallings will take that any day.
You know, in the numbers today, Peyton Manning, 12 of 18, 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. And little man Stewart, 85 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And, of course, for Oklahoma, they got surprised today. They were upset by Texas in the War of the Red River. Always played in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
And Shea Morenz did not play in that game?
To my understanding, he did not.
Big win for Texas.
Listen to the crowd cheer on the snap, getting back to the punter. Down to the 1, and it goes into the end zone. And let's go down to Mike Adamle.
Well, Ron and Mike, one player that Florida State's really misses tonight defensively is back in Tallahassee recovering from knee surgery. But Enzo Armella is here in spirit. Enzo, of course, was lost for the season in the North Carolina game. But as he left on the stretcher, he gave the thumbs up sign, the tomahawk chop, got a standing ovation. This was to have been his homecoming. He went to Miami Springs High School, but his Seminole teammates wanted Enzo to know that they're thinking of him. As a matter of fact, equipment man Jimmy Campbell is wearing Enzo's number 75, and all the players, or at least many of the Seminole players, have number 75 on their wristbands.
So through the end zone, touchback, no flag on the play. (24-17) our score with 2:23 left in the third quarter. Has him open. Kaz McCorvey at the 40, and McCorvey will take it to the 42-yard line.
Another late flag coming from the referee, and I believe it's going to be holding on Florida State, and it was really a late flag.
Holding called against the Seminoles, and while we got a moment, Jonathan Harris suffered a concussion. Suffered a concussion on that last play. He will not return.
Ron, the only criticism I have of these officials tonight is Bobby Bowden's getting into their ear. Slow. Everything is slow. I mean, it's a delayed flag, and the movement is so slow out there by this crew.
So erase the play to Kaz McCorvey. Oh, from the spot of the foul. Actually, it's going to be inside the 10. It's going to be around the 8.
Put a mark by that play.
Yeah.
That was a turnaround there for Florida State.
Florida State, yeah, they don't come up with a first down on this one and have to give it back to the Hurricanes. You'll have to put an asterisk by it. Sacked at the 2, and it's Kennard Lang. Second time that they've gotten to him tonight.
Well, when you're backed up in long yardage situation, no one's buying the play fake right now. Jesus Hernandez, number 77, is beat by Kennard Lang, number 96.
The sideline is going to be picked off by Carlos Jones at the 5, and he will score. Pruitt with the extra point attempt, and he's got it.
When you back someone up close to their goal line in long yardage situation, that's the time to look for the turnover. Carlos Jones is in a 2-deep coverage here. Watch him sink here. There's no challenge here. Now he reads the receiver, just keeps sinking. They're trying to throw the fade route to Omar Ellison, number 30, but Carlos Jones just kept the ball ball, and quarterback in his eyesight intercepted it for another big touchdown.
Also, what we need to say about Danny Kanell is if he puts a little bit of arc on the ball, that also could have gone for a distance job. That's how close it was to being a great play for Florida State, and it turns into disaster.
And when you get in that situation, you try to throw the fade behind that corner, but Carlos Jones was just able to sink deeper and then make the interception.
Left third quarter, and all of a sudden it is a 14-point Miami lead. And I don't have to tell you what is on that guy's mind. I think there's a personal challenge going out as far as number 10 is concerned. Derek Brooks, the All-American.
Comes a time when you got to quit talking, though, and you got to play.
Going to be Rock Preston from the 3. Look out at the 30. Gets a block. Takes it out to the 47-yard line.
Special teams have been big tonight. Danny Kanell getting a good pass rush. Who else? 76, Warren Sapp threw the ball. Carlos Jones sinking in too deep coverage with the interception and the touchdown.
13 of 28, 153 yards, 3 interceptions. And John Stark, the junior out of Nashville, Tennessee, the 6'4" quarterback, will come in and replace Danny Kanell. Stark, just like Kanell, a very rangy young man, 6'4", 215, is a junior and has very good arm. Stoppage in play. They're asking the Miami bench to move back just a little.
The Miami defense has just made plays and turned them into points.
Set the screen to the short side of the field, and Crockett is going to be stopped for not much gain by Chad Wilson.
You have turnovers in the game, but the most important thing is to put points off of them. Florida State got 2, but only got a field goal. Miami has 3, and it's turned it into 21 points.
Running down as we're just about at the end of the third quarter. Stark drills it, and it's incomplete. Messon, I beg your pardon, is the man that he wanted. The one thing that I can see about Stark is he seems to throw in shorter passes with a lot more velocity than Kanell does. And the receivers, we saw one that was tipped in the first half and almost intercepted right after he came in.
He's got a strong arm, and he's an accurate passer.
Going to try to run, and he'll get maybe a half yard. Warren Sapp just introduced himself to the youngster from Nashville. And that is the end of the third quarter with our score. Miami 31 and Florida State 17. We'll be right back. Piloting the blockbuster video blimp for tonight's event, Terry Dillard of Lake Monroe, Florida. Terry, great pictures tonight. Didn't look, though, as this night was going to come off this way. We had heavy rain in the Miami area earlier today, but what's turned into a beauty. And if you're a Miami Hurricane fan with 15 minutes showing on the clock, you think that it's even prettier right now.
And they got to be aware of a fake here if you're Miami on defense.
Very high, good coverage kick. Fair catch is called and made at the 4-yard line. Now a look at Danny Kanell. This game is a long way from over, but a 14-point lead. But you know what, Mike? The point has been made that for first-time quarterbacks in this game, it's never been easy. In fact, Charlie Ward didn't win his first time. Gino Toretto did not win his first time as far as first-time quarterbacks in this ball game, and the list goes on. So it's been a thing where they thrive on people that have not played in this football game before.
Special rivalry. They go after those young quarterbacks.
Gain of 2. Mike Tirico, what have you got for us?
Well, Ron, you don't go 8 plays and 80 yards very often on Arizona, but Colorado State just did. Anthony hailed to his tight end Justin Schull, 2 unbeaten teams, and Colorado State scores first.
14-point lead for the Hurricanes of Miami. Casey Weldon is another guy that you can add to that list. That the first time he played against Miami, didn't win the football game. Danielle Ferguson, as a flag comes in, takes it to the 20-yard line.
As Ferguson carried gain 3 yards.
And of course, as far as Florida State is concerned, you got to go back to 1984 since they have won at this arena. Costa, 15 of 27, 158 yards. He has the 1 interception. He threw one last year, and Mike had put him on the bench, and he didn't come back until the Georgia Southern game this year. Right now, though, his situation is very different as Gino Toretto looks on from the sideline with his ball club with a 14-point lead.
Ron, you got to admire Frank Costa. He didn't quit. He didn't transfer. He stayed around here, and he knew he'd get a shot at spring ball. He got that shot. Now he's trying to make the most of it.
And he knows that a quick mistake against this defense, and the Noles would be right back in it. Draw play to Ferguson. The ball is loose, and that's what I'm talking about right there. It looks as though Florida State has recovered at the 15-yard line. They have. Eric Smith. Darrell Bush took it away.
Darrell Bush, the middle linebacker, made the play. The 4-0 student, players call him Butkus. Just a fake, like it's going to be a pass. There's the strip. Darrell Bush, number 44, big turnover. You were just talking about it. Now, the Miami defense, again, with Warren Sapp leading them on the field. They've been able to hold them to just a field goal on these turnovers. Let's see what Florida State can get now.
Direct snap, Brock Preston, and he'll take it to the 10-yard line. Sapp got just enough of it.
You talk about players of the game. Now, there's a lot of guys that can be the player of the game. But that play was looking like it was going to be a real big play, and Warren Sapp just was able to get his hand and make the tackle. The great ones find a way to make plays.
Under pressure, hit from behind, and he's sacked at the 17 by Kenny Holmes.
This has been the story of the evening for Florida State. They get a turnover, and then all of a sudden, Greg McMackin and the defensive coordinator in this Miami defense says you're not getting in the end zone. Good pressure again by the Miami front. Kenny Holmes, number 90. Got to take advantage of this third down play.
Third down. The line to make is the 5 of Miami. Drills it. It is incomplete. Almost intercepted by Malcolm Pearson. Pearson is bleeding. He got one back in the first half. In fact, the first turnover of the evening is Pennell threw an interception on the opening drive.
This is vintage Miami defense tonight.
Pennell will come in to hold. And this ball will be placed down at the 24-yard line. So Bentley with a 34-yard attempt right in the middle. He nails it. So we'll take a break. 12-14 left in the ball game. And our new score, Miami 31 and Florida State 20. Well, Warren Sapp right there. That picture has a lot of words. Mike, in just a moment after the kickoff here, I got a stat for you on the defense of Miami. And what they do on Thursday is that, in a way, prepares them for situations like they had just now with the turnover. But first of all, the kickoff, and the Seminoles got 3. They would love to have had 7. It's going to be German at the goal line. Oh, just keep getting mauled. Will not make it close to the 20. The story is that on Thursdays, the #1 offense goes out for a 2-minute drill. They're taking it around their own 30-yard line, and they work against the #1 defense. One of the players told me the length of time that Dennis Erickson has been here, that only once that he knew of, and maybe twice, that the #1 offense scored a touchdown in that 2-minute drill against the #1 defense. That's the kind of pride that they put into it, and he said, it helps us when we get into emergency situations. I think that'd be called emergency a moment ago.
Well, they really only have had 4 bad minutes of football, and they gave up 21 points, but the defense didn't give up the 21 points. They gave up 7 against Washington, but a 4-minute stretch, they just fell apart.
Great defensive play by Derek Brooks, and he's the man on the sideline that was trying to fire him up a moment ago, and then he goes on the field and does his talking. That's going to be dropped for a loss, and it'll be 2nd down and about 13 yards for the first.
He's doing it by example now on the football field. He knows the clock's against him. Just reading the pulling guard, was able to take on number 61, Jaina, made the play. They've got to keep trying to force turnovers. Miami's going to try to use clock. They're going to try to get the ball back.
Ball is tipped. It was caught anyway by German. Almost got by the tackler. And he's going to take it just shy of the 20, and Costa very slow in getting up.
He was hit by Peter Boulware, number 58. Just when he threw the football. A lot of pressure on that play.
Frank turned to his teammate and said, I'm okay, but that shot on the side of his headgear speaks volumes.
Here's the pressure that's going to come. It's by Roy, number 98, hitting Frank Costa just before he threw the football. Mickey Andrews trying to move this defense around, trying to make plays.
Got him again. This is incredible. This is 6 times that Florida State has gone off sides, and the cadence, something is just driving them wacky tonight.
Well, what makes Mickey Andrews mad is that cadence shouldn't draw you off. Ball movement is what you go on, and that's what he's telling his defensive linemen. You go when the ball moves. You constantly tell your defensive lineman to look in at the football. You can't let a quarterback draw you off. Tyrant Marion, number 86.
Looks as though that with his shoulder pads moved a little more, there was a heavy cut on the 2nd count, and that's when the jump came. Larry Jones comes in as the lone setback. 3rd down, and they need the 26. Screen to the near side. Tellison. A.C. Tellison tackled by Fuller, and now they're flags from everywhere. 18-yard gain.
going to be on number 66.
Simonette.
Simonette. Pleading his case on the sideline, but they're marking it off.
That's the first down.
The penalty against Miami with a legal block.
So the first down was picked up. Then the illegal block. So it is a first down. And the ball will be scrimmaged from the 29-yard line. Simonette is out. Curlin Blaze comes in replacing him, number 79. Little counter action. Larry Jones into the secondary, and he's going to have a Miami first down.
When you run the counter play, you're able to pick up everything in the wash. Defensive linemen going into gaps, everything. When you seal everything down, Miami's had success against Florida State with the counter. You'll see the counter play. Start to the right. Now both the guard and tackle pull from the backside. Everything is sealed off inside. Ricky Perry, 73, with a big block. First down, and the clock becomes the enemy of the Seminoles.
Under 10 minutes left in the ball game. 11-point lead for Miami. Jones short yardage this time, but if you're Miami, the two things that you want to happen. You want the clock to continue to run, and you don't ever have to punt again tonight. Although they did have a successful execution of the long snap on the last one.
There's a third thing, too. Hold on to the football.
Hold on to the football, yeah. Bobby Bowden pacing on the sideline. And with the great success that Bobby has had in his career, this is one football team. He's 33% against Miami. Lost the pass. He's got one-on-one coverage and knocked away at the very last minute by Byron Capers.
Florida State had everybody inside. 8-man front inside. Left Byron Capers, number 23, against Chris T. Jones on the outside. A one-on-one pass. Good coverage by number 23, Brian Capers. Another look at it. Chris Jones just can't bring it in.
This is incredible. They have jumped again, but Ferguson is off and running down the sideline, and he's finally going to be caught by Todd Rebo. But they got him to jump for a 7th time. While we're sorting it out, here are a couple of injury reports. German, left eye bruise. He may return. And Stewart has been taken for x-rays to a local hospital. 25 yards on the running play by Danielle Ferguson.
Ron, if this ball game holds with the 31-20 lead and Miami wins this football game, you talk about a happy guy that maybe wants to turn on the radio or read the Miami paper tomorrow. Frank Costa will be enjoying the radio and the TV and the newspapers around here for a while, at least till next Saturday. This is a guy that just hung in there and just refused to give in, and has really came back well.
Jones up the middle this time as Miami gives a little 1-2 punch. They bring in the larger Jones, who's 240, taking out Ferguson, who's 195. Brooks on the stop.
Frank Costa tonight, 18 for 30, 179 yards, 7 penalties, where his cadence has had an effect on the defensive line. You don't know how many plays he's checked at the line of scrimmage in the running game. He's had a good evening here against the Seminole defense.
And Danny Cannell, conversely, situation that 3 interceptions, 1 that went for a touchdown that were just devastating to this Seminole football team. They still got 7.5 minutes to rectify it. As the pitch to the sideline, and Ferguson never could turn the corner. Clifton Abraham got out there and strung out the play.
Remember, coming into the game, they've only given up 77 yards a game rushing to the opponent. Tonight, Miami has controlled this football game with the running game, 180 yards. Big statistic in this game tonight.
The 24. Costa over the middle. It is tipped and intercepted by Florida State. It's Derek Brooks. Gets the blockers in front, and they will take it all the way to the 46-yard line.
Robert Hammond, number 35, with the deflection. Derek Brooks, who's just turning it on here in the second half with the interception. And Dennis Erickson, that's the one thing. Talk about turnovers. You don't want to give him the football back. Derek Brooks, the linebacker, reads pass. Now he's out in coverage against Tucker, number 81. Ball's tipped by Robert Hammond, 35. Derek Brooks picks it off and now shows he's a pretty good athlete running the football. But now the biggest problem for Florida State, the Miami defense is back on the field.
John Stark, deep set in the pocket, zings it, almost intercepted by Ray Lewis. Oh my goodness.
And a game of errors tonight. Big errors.
I want it bad.
Stark got away with one.
It's not over.
Derek says it's not over, and that's very true with 7:04 left. There's lots and lots of time. But the Noles are running out a series of downs, so they got to make something happen right here. More than a three-pointer. Ball is loose.
Well, this defense from Miami, Greg McMack, and the defensive coordinator has to be pleased with the effort of the defense tonight.
Miami football. Pat Riley makes the recovery, and it was Lang who upset the cart.
Just took too long to develop.
That's one of the things, the wind-up and the big step to throw the ball. You can't do that against the defense this quick.
Took too long. Now he starts to leave, starts to leave the pocket. Kennard Lang, number 96, with the hit. And now if you're Dennis Erickson, you figure you're going to put the ball in the tailback's hands. 3 plays, run some clock here. 6:50, let's run the clock and keep this Florida State defense on the field.
Total of 8 for the game. Larry Jones. He'll slide off the tackle spot to the 43. James Roberson takes his feet out from under him, and the clock is now at 6:40 and running.
A lot of mistakes tonight, Ron, but a hard-played football game. The effort by both teams been outstanding tonight. Really effort on both sidelines. And there's the key of the night right there. That unit, the defensive unit of Miami.
Costa, the ball to Jones, won't make it to the 40-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and about 6. Darrell Bush is there to make the hit for the Seminoles. A quick pass. Boy, he threw that one away. And he was looking for a sideline, and we had a flag route being run by his receiver. So here comes that very evil word for Miami tonight. Punt.
And you talked at the open about Miami needed to win this football game to stay in any kind of hunt for the national titles. A lot of undefeated ball clubs out there. They have the one loss, but a loss tonight would have taken them out of everything.
Yeah, it would have. Jeffrey Taylor handling the long snap.
And 11 people after this punt.
He got away a really good kick, and it goes out of bounds. I don't believe it. At the 1-yard line. Mike Chrisson. So let's take a break. 5:13 left in the ball game, and the Hurricanes by 11. .20. 5 minutes and 13 seconds left in time of possession tonight. This says a lot. Miami 32 minutes and 10 seconds. Florida State 21 minutes.
The running game, the difference.
Zings to pass out, complete at the 10, and he'll take it up to the 11-yard line. Melvin Pearson. Pearsall, I beg your pardon.
Show you again, Florida State has given up 184 yards tonight. The Miami defense only 40 yards rushing to Florida State tonight.
You can see just how close he came to picking up the first down. Mike Adamle, let's check with you real quick.
Well, you know, the Hurricane Streetniks were really upset when the 58-game run went by the boards against Washington. Not to worry, if Miami hangs on tonight, they will have won their 40th consecutive game, rushing for 150 yards or more, and their 24th consecutive night game at the Orange Bowl.
Well, Stark got stepped on by one of his linemen, almost fumbled the football. And instead of having second down and inches, now they got third down. And let's see, the officials are going to place this just across the 5-yard line. About 5.5 yards. Hit, throws it, did he throw it away? Incomplete. No marker. Marvin Davis with the pressure. And, of course, the other danger on a play like that, if you get called for offensive holding, that's a safety, my friend.
He may have intentionally grounded this football, but he got rid of it, and that's the key move. Just threw it away. Clay Shriver, number 53, was beaten.
Timeout called by Florida State with 4:12 left in the ball game. We'll take it with them. 31-20, Miami. 20, and although it's fourth down, Florida State with that little time left, 4 minutes and 12 seconds, and they will go for it. Pressure, throws it, incomplete to Warwick Dennis. Kenny Holmes was just all over it.
John Stark never had a shot. Kenny Holmes, number 90, forced the incompletion. Play busted from the start. Beat the block of the offensive tackle. Miami football.
Larry Jones is the lone setback. And he'll get the handoff and probably another if he stays in the football game, as the clock is about to go under 4 minutes. We talked so much about the quarterbacks in this one tonight. Here are the comparisons on this evening's ball game. Danny Cannell, 13 of 28, 153 yards, intercepted 3 times. One of those went for a touchdown. And for Frank Costa, 18 of 32, 177 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jones at the 2-yard line. Henry Crockett, number 45, wraps him up. Continues to run. 2:54, now 2:53. Miami probably had just as soon take all 4 downs to score the touchdown, or just use 4 downs to burn clock. Jones hit in the backfield as Brooks knifes through, and there is a flag down.
I think the motion man turned up too soon for Miami. Saeed Tucker.
On the offense,
so very quickly you see Pruitt coming out, and also Mike Chrissy. Chrissy is the holder, and this one is going to be placed down at the 11, so a 21-yard attempt for the Hurricanes to try to go back on top by 14 points.
Dave Arnold right there, the assistant coach in charge of special teams. He made the adjustment at halftime he needed to make. Put a new long snapper in, but they also blocked very well as slot people and the personal protector. Jeffrey Taylor came in, number 59. So you look for adjustments at halftime. They solved the problem they had. Came out in the second half, and again, credit special teams, credit the defense, and credit the running game.
Well, you can bet Dave Arnold there, Artie as he is called, was really working on that gum in the first half, because they had some extreme problems. But they found an answer and overcame them. But at a time, as Coach Bowden said in his interview when he came back out in the second half, he said, we had the momentum and we let them take it away from us. 14-point game, 34-20.
The key play when you go back to plays was the interception when they had the 14-7 lead, had a chance to go in, put some more points on the board, and then the interception by C.J. Richardson really kind of sealed the first half. And the defense of Miami, led by Warren Sapp, just when the ball was turned over, they just would not allow Florida State to score.
From the 12-yard line, this is Rock Preston. He's whacked from behind. Will not get to the 25-yard line.
Look at Florida State's remaining schedule. They got Clemson, who was thumped today. Duke having a surprising season at Georgia Tech. Then the big game, Notre Dame, of course, coming off the loss today. And then the last one, November 26th against Florida, and then NC State the week before. So still a very tough schedule for Bobby Bowden's football team. And Florida just keeps rolling on.
Mike, can they win the national championship with one loss?
I think they can. I think there's going to be about 5 or 6 undefeated teams still around, the Arizona, Penn State. You got Florida and some others, but one loss with these two teams, if they get the right draw in the bowl, would have a shot.
Thad Busby in at quarterback, and he throws the screen pass out to Crockett. And Zach is going to take it up just shy of the 30th. We're about to go under 2 minutes left in the ball game. Coming up immediately following the ball game, the Residence Inn College Football Scoreboard. Flags are down everywhere. Busby trying to get out of harm's way, which has been a difficult task here tonight.
When we're coming to the ball game, you and I were talking about the pressure on Dennis Erickson here in Miami because of the winning streak and all the different things that have happened here. But you talk about a guy who took over a program, he's kept it. They continue to win, and when we were talking about the streak the other day, the players said, hey, we're not bad, we're 56-1. They didn't want to lose that ball game. 4 bad minutes of football, but Dennis Erickson has been criticized also, along with his quarterback. And again, you sometimes the unrealistic goals that everyone puts on you. I mean, he has done a fine coaching job here.
You know, Mike, the programs, the Oklahomas, the Alabamas, the SCs, we're talking about programs that have been good over a long period of time, but they don't win every year. They have their dry spells. I mean, no one's able to do that. And the interesting thing is they did win 9 last year. I know they got thumped in the bowl game, but how many other teams in America won 9 football games?
And they caught an Arizona team last year that was hot at the end of the season.
Yeah, they really were. Well, Busby was very calm. He knew that whistle was going to come or he was going to lose his head.
I really like that Busby. I watched him practice last year. He came out when Rob Hollis came out of high school. Thad Busby is a 13 quarterback. Mark Richt, the quarterback coach, says Cannell, Stark, Thad Busby, all excellent quarterbacks in our system.
Warwick Dunn turns the corner, still on his feet at the 30, just short of the first down. Finally a smile from Dennis Erickson. He got wet and he doesn't care. He says, do it to me again.
They've regained the edge here at their home ballpark.
And a timeout has been called by Florida State. Players of the game are for Florida State. In fact, both are defensive players. It is Derek Alexander, 4 tackles, 1 pass breakup. And for Miami, not going to be surprised at this one. Warren Sapp, he was just everywhere tonight. 8 tackles, quarterback sack and a half, 2.5 pressures. And as a part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes.
Well, Court Tess Kennedy's probably watching this game tonight. Russell, Maryland. I mean, these are the same type of players. And, of course, Warren Sapp, a lot of people compare him to Jerome Brown, who went on to the Eagles and when he was playing here at Miami. So that's pretty good company for Warren Sapp to be in.
Derek Alexander looking at the tape on his right hand. The biggest pain, though, is in his heart because they're going to lose to the team that they just don't like to lose to. It's on the ground, a fumble, and Miami has recovered with 17 seconds left, and it's Kenny Holmes. And he's another one that he may not have gotten the player of the game, but Mike Holmes has been extremely effective tonight. In college football scoreboard coming up immediately following this ball game. All the scores and highlights from today's action. Also, we'll be back here for a post-game report. Intercepted by Miami. Earl Little. Once again, a final score. The Hurricanes of Miami 34 and the Seminoles of Florida State 20. For Mike Gottfried and Mike Adamley, Ron Franklin, same for our entire ESPN crew. So long from Miami. Mike Tirico is next.
Ron, thank you. So, folks, now you know why we've been saying more than just a game for the last 2 weeks. You never see a coach with that much emotion after a regular season win. On the Residence Inn College scoreboard, don't touch the dial. We've got all the scores and highlights, reaction. What does this game mean to the big picture, the national championship race for this year? Our gang will put it in perspective, so don't go anywhere. We'll head back to the Orange Bowl also for the post-game reaction of Miami beating Florida State by the score of 34-20.
Frank Costa, how sweet it is. You said you waited 364 days for this moment. Tonight, sweet redemption.
No feeling like this in the world. I mean, there were so many people doubting us and our team and really me. And they said I couldn't win a big game. And they said we couldn't beat Florida State with me being a quarterback. And all those guys over at ESPN, Craig James and everybody, hey, we beat them.
There were also questions that perhaps after the loss to Washington, that Miami's dynasty was on the wane. A lot of questions answered there in that respect as well.
We're right back in it. We're right back in the national championship hunt. And that's our only goal, and we're right back where we need to be. Beat the #3 team in the country, played great at home, and hey, we can't ask for anything else. If people want to keep doubting us, hey, we'll just keep winning.
Frank, Gino was talking to us tonight about the pressures of inheriting the mantle here at quarterback. How tough has the pressure been on you this season? You've obviously been able to adapt somewhat.
Well, you know, I'm dealing with it a lot better this year than I did last year, and you know, it was kind of tough for me last year, you know, following the footsteps of a Heisman Trophy winner, won a national championship, played for it another year, and you know, it was tough for me, but you know, I'm dealing with a lot better this year. I'm really not listening to what anybody says, and I use it as positive fuel, and you know, right now it's working out for me, and I'm going to continue to keep that same attitude.
Frank, congratulations. Enjoy the victory. You're back in the hunt.
All right.
Michael?
Mike, thank you. We're going to get right back down to the Orange Bowl to Chris Craig and the coach. We'll bring in Bino Cook as well momentarily for more on this game. Now, if you didn't catch it, if you were out at a game today, the big story of the day. Notre Dame, opportunity to erase last year's disappointment, going up to Massachusetts to take on Boston College, team that kept the Irish from the title last year. Ron Paulus did start. He said his groin didn't bother him all that much, but without 4 starters, Notre Dame couldn't get it done offensively, and a good effort, too. Let's give credit to BC's defense. Terrence Wiggin, the pick. Craig James has been talking about this. What a big play it was in the early going. The fake field goal, Matt Hasselbeck's first down, sets up David Green's touchdown. BC led 7-3. Notre Dame did cut it at one point down to a 13-point lead, but they couldn't get any closer. Boston College snaps the Irish 16-game road win streak. Really the story here, Boston College able to dominate time of possession and the game on the ground. In the Big Ten, Illinois going to Ohio State, where they'd won 3 straight, 10-10. See the time's done in the third quarter. But Johnny Johnson's not. Going deep and finding Jasper Strong. A 49-yard Illini hookup. They add another score. And Illinois beats Ohio State for the fourth straight time in Columbus. Bobby Hoying, the OSU quarterback, picked off 3 times. Seen earlier today on ESPN, Bianca-Patuca 141, Wheatley 153. Michigan wins by 20, playing Penn State next week. At the Texas State Fairgrounds, the Cotton Bowl, the Red River rivalry. Texas, Oklahoma, nearly an interception that would have ended the game, but one final chance for Oklahoma, down 7 in the fourth quarter. They call a reverse. James Allen, but Stoney Clark, the nose tackle, is there to snuff it out. And the Longhorns, after the emotional loss to Colorado, bounce back to beat Oklahoma. Bryant Westbrook, 2 big interceptions for John Makovic's team. In the SEC, Auburn, would they be looking past Mississippi State to Florida next week? Terry's Tigers were strong. Looking for 17 straight. Patrick Nix to Frank Sanders. Big play here. They hook up twice on the day. Nix had 3 touchdowns, 311 yards in all. A very frustrating day in Starkville for the Bulldogs. Their worst loss under Jackie Sherrill. Auburn is now 6-0. School record 17 straight wins. Terry Bowden still hasn't lost. They get the Gators next week in the Swamp. A 5-game homestand for the #1 team in the land. Starting off quite well. Big defensive day for Florida. Anthony Lott with the interception, and Ronnie Lott's cousin goes 88 yards for the 3rd longest INT return for a touchdown in Florida history. Good ground game as well. Fred Taylor over 100 yards. Terry Dean 20 of 38 for 217 yards. And the Gators are now 5-0. You haven't seen Napoleon Kaufman.